Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Chess 24 India broadcast of the Gold Money Asian Rapid, which is part of the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour. And we are here for the final day of the final, the day two. Today, we will know who is the winner of the Gold Money Asian Rapid for sure, between Aronian and Artemiev, and also the third place between Magnus Carlsen and Ding Liren. So, this is Grandmaster Srinath Narayanan, and we already have women Grandmaster Katie Satchalasvili, who is giving me practice on how to pronounce Georgian names already.
Thank you for introducing me and my last name in a funny way. So this is the last day of the tournament, right? Very long tournament, and I predicted that Artemiev. At least I wanted to see Artemiev here in the finals, but I was sure that Magnus would be also in the finals. But sometimes we're also wrong, right?
Yes. I'm pretty sure Ding also probably expected to play Magnus in the finals. So, he was probably praying that, oh, let me play Magnus on the weekend, let me play Magnus on the weekend. But he did not complete his prayer, and it ended up that they're playing for the third and fourth. Meanwhile, the games have begun. We have the opening moves in the games. So let's shift quickly there. And Artemiev, chat, guess what Artemiev started with? And again, if you don't guess this, then I'd be very disappointed with you guys. What was the first move of Artemiev?
I can't help. Sorry, guys, because I see the move.
I'm sure they also see the move. That's why I give them easy questions to start with. I know our chat. They are very smart, intelligent, and tricky most of all.
Yeah.
Very, very tricky.
Okay.
Thus, Artemiev does not start with these moves. You're suggesting all the moves that he doesn't start with. What is this chat? I had such high hopes from you guys. We have spoken about this so much during our past commentary sessions. What is... Yes, finally, Kacham Chakradhar is right. Nishal also gets into the act, and it was one knight of three, d5, g3, g6, bishop g2, bishop g7, short castle, knight f6, and now c4. It's similar to what Artemiev played yesterday. He started with c4 on the third move yesterday, and then played knight a3 and knight a2 c4. But if you play knight c4 on the fifth move, then it's slightly different. That after d into c4, it's not so easy for white to make use of this knight a3 anymore. Don't ask me why. But it's usually more common to go queen a4 check here, knight of d7, queen into c4, knight c6, and now after d3, knight b6. This is the present position we have. What are your thoughts on the initial moves, Katie?
I think it's like quiet. It's not something like main lines, and white did not try to fight for the center with d4, e4, the central pawns. I think he will be just maneuvering here, and maybe with this queen h4, he wants to play bishop h6, knight g5 ideas just to annoy a little bit this king on g8.
Yeah, so black decides to immediately trade the queens, looking at the menacing queen on h4 and the possible attacking options that white has because of it. So immediately goes e5, which is pretty instructive, guys. Pretty instructive chat. Again, in these types of positions, when your opponent comes queen h4, you don't have to panic. You can walk right in with short castle. Now, honestly, how many of you, after seeing queen h4 here, would decide to castle short here? Like, how many of you in the chat? You can either say, yes, I would have castled, which you can write with just yes, or you can write no, I wouldn't have castled.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like usually when we see queen there, we're just not walking with our king. But Aronian also made really fast this castle, right?
Yes, indeed. And Katie, my dad, he's about 62 years old, or 63. He started playing chess a few months ago. He
Really?
knows how to play chess. Yeah, he knows how to play chess,
Uh-huh.
but he really started to try and improve playing chess a few months ago.
Uh-huh.
And he of course knows a few things about chess, having watched it for years. But he's still learning some of the things from scratch. And by the way, he also watches some of your lessons. By the way, the
My
basic
lessons?
lessons. Yeah. I once saw him
Oh, nice.
learning
That's
from
so
it.
nice. That's so nice. I hope that he will be our next grandmaster. Like he can break the record to be a grandmaster at the age of 63.
Oh, we all wish.
Yeah,
But
that's very nice.
But what I noticed is, when his opponents come with moves like Queen H4, he immediately starts panicking when something comes in front of his king.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the reason
that's
why I asked our chat as well. They
yeah.
start worrying what to do against something like Bishop H6 here, or Knight G5. So chat, once again, first question for you of the day. If white had played bishop h6 here in order to exchange this bishop, then how should black have responded? It's an open-ended question with multiple possible answers, but it's still interesting to get yourself into the game, get yourself into this game, involved into this game, by starting to participate in it yourselves.
Yes,
And
and we have Soumya joining us with
Hey Katie, how are you doing? Hi Shri, hello chat. Very nice question there actually for the chat because there are many possibilities and I was engrossed in answering it myself.
I like your outfit for today.
Thank
That's
you. It's a
beautiful.
sari.
Yeah,
I know,
sorry,
I
okay.
know. So starting with the sari and ending with the sari, yeah, the first and last days.
Yeah, I just thought we should end it well if we started it well as well. So that was the whole
Wait, I
concept.
have a scarf as well. Can I do it as well?
Oh yes.
I'm not joining you guys though. I'm just letting you know in advance.
Oh,
Is it good?
oh, it's beautiful. What do you think, Kat? Oh, so cute. That looks very nice.
Oh, it's warm.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
In tune with the in tune with the Asian format, and we also have an Asian player, Ding Lijian, playing right till the end. So we have had this Asian flavor throughout this event.
Well said. Well said.
Okay, so looking at the answers of the chat, I see that a few common moves. So one of it is e5, which I actually like because they are actually learning from the game. Yeah, we just showed that you have to try and trade queens when opponent is attacking. So they respond with bishop at 6 e5. It's something I really like that the chat is learning. But another move which is suggested by the chat is f5, and this is not a good move because knight g5, and now you are in serious trouble. White will not take bishop into g7 immediately, so watch this carefully. This is an important technique on how to attack. Don't take it first because opponent will take it, and now after knight g5, black will have this option to play h6. So what you should do is you should play knight g5 first before taking on g7, so that black does not have this move h6 here, and you're threatening to take bishop into g7 and queen into h7 yourself. So uh, this is the this is the way to attack. This is the way to attack when you want to attack h7 with the queen on h4 and bishop on h6. And therefore f5 is a bad move because you are weakening this g5 square and you're not really helping the attack. But if you want, You can play f6 in some situations like this, which takes control of the g5 square, which is an important square for the attack. And bishop into b2 is another option that at the least deserves some honorable mention. What do you guys think? Would you take bishop into b2 here?
Oh no, I wouldn't. How about you, Katie?
I would. I like puns.
Very, very brave. But yeah, maybe it's actually the best move, because if the tactics don't work out, then you will simply be material up, no?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
the
certainly the
main
move greedy VD would make.
yeah. The thing is that after like white has to capture an f8 at some point, then queen comes and hoping that queen will get on g7 just to guard the h7 pawn and the king.
Oh, you want to take with queen f8. I thought you want to even take bishop a1, but then I'll just come back with the bishop, is it? That was the
Or
point?
knight g5, yeah, that could be really.
Yeah, knight g5. I thought you want to go king f8 and just be super greedy.
Yeah, here white cannot mate because he doesn't have any enforcer on the dark squares. The black bishop exists, but white does not have it. But on the other hand, after bishop into b2, after bishop into b2, I'm not entirely certain how this goes, but I think white wouldn't mind trying to claim some compensation with. For example, knight g5 is tempting, but even knight b d2 is tempting.
I was very tempted to play knight b d2 and simply give up the exchange and claim that my dark squared bishop is more powerful than your rook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's compensation here for sure with knight g5.
Yeah,
yeah, knight e4, knight
no?
g5. It's long term.
So that's the reason I was very tempted to play instead of bishop b2. I wanted to exchange pieces and wanted to play knight d4. Did any of you consider this move?
Knight d4, knight into d4, and now you want to play bishop in h6.
Mm-hmm.
This is very interesting. But I think the problem is knight c6 comes in here.
No,
Yeah?
even queen d4. No, is it bad? Because after
This is deep. This is deep, Soumya. I did not see this. Because I stopped, I rejected this automatically, thinking that you are losing an exchange. But I forgot that you had this follow up bishop into
bishop
b2.
b2. Yeah, exactly. So I thought I could go for this. And if you don't take on d4, then I have knight f3, I have knight f5. And
yes, but I think this position after takes knight d2, it should be a bit better for white. This bishop is dominant against this bishop, and some knight e4, knight f6 coming in. I think this is slightly better for white. More development and add two pieces. What do you think?
And what's the predictions for today? Do we predict something?
Vidit is in the chat.
Maybe we should ask Vidit to go first. By the way, I'm at least predicting a comeback from Artemev and a tie break. That is my prediction for the finals. Because I was very impressed with the way he came back against Ding Liren, and I just feel like he is this kind of person who, if he's pushed back, then he fights even stronger to come back and make it count. So I feel like he will definitely give a big fight today.
Okay, Vidit is very sure in his predictions with Levon and Magnus.
I'm pretty sure you don't conquer with that, because then we wouldn't see the tie breaks.
Vidit
Any
says
of the players
Levon wins easily. No, he doesn't only say he wins, he says he wins easily. Wow. And Magnus too. Interesting.
Okay, meanwhile, while we discuss our predictions, another question for the chat, continuing on with yesterday. Now, what does this pawn structure remind you of? What is it similar to? White setup, this pawn structure, what does this remind you of? And what does it remind you of? What is it most similar to, which you may have seen or may not have seen? It's a tough question, but I'm pretty sure there is at least one person in the chat who knows the answer to this question, and I'm hoping that the rest will learn from it. And Arnav Nair gets it right immediately.
It's a
Right
dragon,
out
and
of the bat.
Benoni is also an answer. King's
Yes.
Indian can be as well this pawn structure, right?
And yes, King's Indian also, but King's Indian usually there is a pawn on c2. So with the c file open, I think this is completely in tune with the Sicilian dragon. Also people in the Chess 24 India chat on fire, Mihir Shah and Marian Farms, Suraj, awesome stuff, all of you.
Vidit says that Magnus was playing yesterday about 3 hours at titled Arena. He won like 22 games straight. At some point.
I know.
He was complaining about the schedule and how grueling it gets, in the Champions Chess Tour. And Magnus is like, I'm going to play till the last day of the tour and also play the arena.
Like when it's never enough of chess.
So
yeah, true.
Do you guys think, I think most people will say yes, but just to put out a poll out there, whom do you think is the fittest chess player ever?
Fittest chess player ever?
Physically fittest chess player ever.
Yeah, it's a good question. We did.
You mean the Cristiano Ronaldo of chess,
right?
Yeah?
Like physically also trains.
It's a great way to put it. The Cristiano Ronaldo of chess. That's a great way to put it. What do you think, Katie? Let's ask the chat as well. And Katie and Steve.
Yeah, as I already got the thank you from Vidit, now I can go and say Magnus. I guess he trains the most physically, and he's also very interested in different sports, and at least he shares more information about it. Like nowadays after pandemic time, chess players started to be more social active. Sri, you were talking about this earlier, that you convinced our young guy to be more active on social media, and somehow at some point chess players take it as like distraction, that they have to invest some time and they have to answer, and feedback is always very important in social media. So somehow it became very popular for last years that top guys and also chess professionals, they are starting to show more about themselves, and some of them are showing, but I think this most of them still are not showing like everything about themselves. So there might be someone, for example, I don't know, Aronian, doing some workouts, but not sharing it with us. So we don't know it. And Magnus, we know it's for sure that he does this.
I saw an extraordinary video of Dubov doing push-ups on the handlebar with one hand.
Yeah.
Recently, like maybe 2-3 months ago, or maybe it was even 6 months ago, but quite recent for sure. And I was super impressed.
Yeah, that was Forever News. So Forever News, I think you can do a lot of things. Some special things.
With the handlebar, like with the push-up bar?
That's the thing. Like, even if he trains, we don't have much of the information, right, about it.
No, but I thought he must be very fit, because you need to be like regular with it, no, to be able to do that. And I remember Naka also used to run marathons and everything at some point. I don't know, now he's a professional streamer, so I don't know how much time he gets, but he used to run marathons earlier.
Nice.
But yeah, for me also it will be Magnus, based on what you said, like based on the information that we have. on his social media and all the nice pictures that he shares, and because of the amount of stamina that he shows in tournaments as well. Like he's always playing long games and never getting tired.
Yeah.
So yeah, that also.
Jababa is fittest. He's dancing for hours on Twitch. Actually, that's true. I think he's in the best shape.
Really is like nice pictures that he shares.
Now, who shares?
Magnus, no, he shares a lot of.
Yeah, true, true,
Yeah.
true.
We have Loris Trent and Naka hiked. Yeah, he's sharing a lot of photos, like from different places that he hiked some place. Yeah.
But guys, if we come down a bit from the elite players, can you guess how old Maurice Ashley is?
Oh, I think he's around 50.
What? Really? He looks
Exactly.
so good. I want to look like this when I'm 50.
He's 55 years old.
Wow, he's in best shape.
Exactly.
Oh,
He's 55 years old. Yeah.
Actually, I think he also used to box because his brother used to box professionally. He had told me once. So I think, he must have done some boxing himself. And he actually told me it's one of the secrets of his commentary. He does very fast, very entertaining commentary. And he told me that he picked it up from boxing because he used to watch a lot of boxing matches thanks to his brother. And that's how he attained his style. He's a very nice person.
We're doing some watch party after the stream and we're watching boxing commentaries to pick up some ideas.
Chess boxing. I've always wondered how it would be to have some of these elite players do chess boxing, and I think it would be fun to start it with our Indian top players. Maybe VD against someone first up. Not me, because I'm not a professional chess player, but some
you
professional
can be an
chess
arbiter.
players. VD can choose his. No, I'll be the commentator for the chess boxing matches. But
in the end, you can be a commentator.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
Nice.
VD can choose his opponent amongst professional chess players. VD, who would you choose if you had to chess box? Which top Indian player would you choose to go up against?
I don't think VD is this boxer kind of
left.
person, Like he doesn't give this boxer vibe. Like,
oh come on, he just wrote who should be my punching bag. See, you don't know VD completely yet.
no, I just feel like he's more of a sport athlete, basketball, badminton, which he does play, or even swimming. These kind of vibes I get. I don't get this boxer vibe from him. He's like,
VD is like, can I pick Anish Giri? Yes, you can.
Nice.
Years of frustration. Oh my god. Let's go. VD versus
We have
AD,
to
AG.
screenshot this one for the history.
Okay, guys. After all that chit chat, I'm also compelled to remind that we also have some chess games going on here. There is also a match. So this game between Artemiev and Aronian, I think Artemiev has a bit of pressure. Meanwhile, there is also a match going on between Ding Liren and Magnus Carlsen. It's a pretty simple story as far as this match is concerned. Ding started with d4, Magnus started with knight f6, Ding continued with c4, Magnus played e6, and now Ding played this winning move, killer move, 3g3, and this gave him an advantage in the opening. And he has never lost it so far until the present position that we have right now.
I'm Catalan player as well, 3.
Oh, awesome, Katie.
Yeah,
you're a woman of culture.
I love to play Catalan, and everybody makes fun of me because I always fianchetto bishop on g2 in every position.
Yes, first they tease you and then they laugh at you and then they accept you and then they follow you.
Yeah,
This is always the
yeah,
order.
that's exactly the process what they are getting through.
Yeah, baby, as AD would say. So it's an advantage until this point. You see what the advantage he got on the third move. It has stayed till the 28th move, and now it's a question of whether white will win or make a draw. So this is exactly what happens when you start with this opening. Bye, VD, and hopefully see you soon again.
Oh, it was yesterday or the other day maybe. Like I just came after the other commentary, and you were talking about energy bars. And it said maybe Sri really need some energy bars.
Yes, VD always loves
And I was
bullying me.
like,
And I
oops.
let him do that because, he has to get his frustration out somewhere from all the bullying he gets from Anish. So, who else but us to help VD?
Oh no.
Oh, I actually, by the way, did we discuss Ding versus Magnus and how fabulously Ding has played? I mean, what a beautiful position on the board. Knight on c7, rook on c3, the pawn on d5 is a passer. I don't know, and I actually don't care what is the evaluation of the position according to the engine because this looks so great as white, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Here, I would be only worried about this plan from black h5, h4 to open up the h file and then king g7, king h8. I would really watch out that plan if I were white.
Oh, absolutely. But the rook on c3 and the bishop on g2 are such fantastic defenders because the rook on c3 guards the third rank. So any kind of g3 after h4 will always be met with rook into g3. And the bishop on g2, on the other hand, guards the h1 square. And like they just do such a fantastic job of guarding, defending that king and also improving, the rook on c3 also protects the knight on c7. So I really like how White has placed his pieces.
Yes, when you start with this opening, what's there not to like, Soumya?
Yes. I only heard the more Catalan part, and then I thought, okay, time to take a break. Maybe make some
Some
changes
things
in
never
my
have a break.
Catalan. No.
Do you think that the time here, which will be decisive for the result, because white is down to 3 minutes, and there's like 10 minutes difference on the clock.
Oh yes.
Oh,
13 minutes
yeah.
for black, and white has only 3 minutes.
What was that? Oh, about Shri? Like something happened?
Yeah, it seems like the Catalan lifetime reporter flashed on the screen for a few seconds.
Oh, nice. So go get it, guys, and become as strong as Ding Lijen. You never know. You can actually play Magnus in one of these banter blitzes, and you can actually show your Catalan prep against him. You never know. You might just get very, very lucky there. So, why are you waiting? What are you waiting for?
Oh, Sri,
Yes.
you look really athletic here on this photo.
Yes, that's me. They got a picture of me like that and then they changed it to a statue.
Very impressive. You can use it as your profile photo, like just
I
cut a
wish.
little bit.
Hey, by the way, there is some very exciting action in the other game. Something has happened. Once again, there is a 10-minute advantage for black here, but something has happened here. Look what Artemiev did. He took knight into g5.
What? Oh, oh wow. What happens if pawn takes?
Yes, that's the point. And now rook into e5, bishop g4, and now don't ask me what happens because you're
Take
the
on.
sacrificing people here. You're the people who love sacrificing among the panel. So I'm
I think
hoping you can tell me.
To take on c7 and then to take on g5.
Yeah, I also imagine that this would be his idea, but I'm not sure if he thought this through, because now bishop h6 attacking the rook. The rook has only one square to go to, right? Because this is covered, this is covered, this is covered, this is covered, this is covered. So you can only go to e5. And now bishop g7 attacking the rook again, and the bishop as well in the x-ray. And I don't see how white can respond against this in a way that he doesn't lose anything.
I think, in fact, what white missed was maybe this line that you are showing on the board, or after bishop g4, h3, and now as well bishop g7. So this bishop g7 move was being missed, and finally Artemiev goes for rook into e6 and rook f6, deciding to play this position. But again, the c3 bishop is lost. No, rook f3.
Oh, rook f3. How did this come? So rook into e5, bishop g4, and he took rook into e6. Very interesting. Very interesting. The knight on e6 was supporting this rook on c7. So he takes this, black takes the rook, and then white inserts this check and then takes back the rook, the intermezzo. And now after bishop g7, the same tactic, but after rook f3, Artemiev loses only an exchange. He's not losing a piece. And what is your evaluation of this position, Soumya and Ketty? And black to play, what do you do now? I see something very interesting and exciting for black, but I don't know if it works.
Yeah,
but it's certainly worth consideration.
I actually thought it works, but he didn't go for it. He went for bishop f3, but I like this as well. For example, bishop f3, bishop g7, and now simply bishop g4. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
With the idea to play rook d1, but I know what you're looking at, so maybe we can show that line to the chat before the game goes ahead.
Yeah. So we were thinking about this rook d1. Yeah. With the idea of bishop h3 and keeping this threat on. And
at least you two were thinking about this. I did not see it.
No, but it's so hard to meet this threat, because now, for example, bishop g.
No, but the problem is bishop b4 check.
Right.
But guys, how about rook e3 check and king g2?
Yeah, this also. Yeah, the idea with king g2. Essentially, king g2 after a check, after a couple of checks. So.
Wow! Look at the
position
on the board. Look at the position on the board. Pawn into a7, bishop h3, and it's checkmate. Even though white makes the queen, black will give checkmate. This is so pretty. So actually, white has to play king g2 here, right?
Yeah, white has to play king g2. And now after a into b6, now white has to try and exchange these two pawns, because pawns on the same side easier to play for white. Pawns, if they're scattered around, then the rook is more mobile. It can go to more places faster. So yeah.
You know what Artemiev was thinking about? He thought for a few seconds before king g2. I think he was thinking where he can insert bishop f8.
With it misunderstood us. But Soumya, you go ahead. It's too far back to rewind. I just saw with its chat.
I think what Artemiev was looking at, instead of 40 king g2, was bishop f8 check, with the idea that after king f8 you have ba7 and bishop h3, and you can make a queen, and maybe he wins the rook in some checks. These were the tactics he was looking at. But the problem is maybe those tactics don't work. And secondly, bishop f8, you can simply go king f7. You don't need to take the bishop.
Also here you have rook e1, yeah?
Oh yeah, you have rook a1 as well. Right. So I think that is what distracted him. But then he decided to go with king g2 anyway, and a b6, e3 on the board. This is the position.
Yeah, so white will play bishop d4 now, attacking the b6 pawn, and then go c5 on the next move. and that position is unlosable for white, even if he has only 30 seconds, because even without a pawn or two, white would still be able to draw this on the pawns on the same side. So now with some extra pawns, he would have no way to lose it, but also his winning chance is pretty small. Someone is saying Soumya is looking like my max teacher on PTM.
Yeah. I feel like actually today not so much. I think on the first day I was looking like a primary teacher for sure. Today also, I don't know. Maybe some maths teachers look like that.
By the way, Soumya, look at this Chess 24 India chat. Yeah, they are so knowledgeable. Pulkit Rati, Mihir Shah, they all immediately knew we were talking about Rook D1. It's
Yeah.
I'm really happy with this chat, which kind of grew up in front of us. Yeah, the last few months.
I think Srinath looks at all chat like Nihal, uh, Arjun, and Divya, like as if they are his students, or they have grown up in front of me, as this feeling. It's sweet, very sweet. So, oh my God. I think Ding versus Magnus is also very interesting. They have reached this queen ending, and I'm not sure if it's winning anymore. I mean, white is a pawn up, but black can probably hold this, no? Or is it winning?
No, it's definitely not winning. So what you're saying is true. I think that's about 30% chances of white winning and 70% draw. What do you think, Katie?
I think if white manages to push b4 pawn and trade that pawn for a, and then starts to push a5, he might have some good chances with queen on
And
d5.
in fact, you can do it right away. Yeah. For example, if black gives a pass. Okay, how do we give a pass?
Yeah, you're not good at this. Something with
There should be an option to. Did Aronian just trick Artemiev by trapping his piece? This is exciting, no? Both the games. It's difficult to stay on one game.
No. There were always these ideas with this bishop on f1. Now it's already on h5, but it's still so uncomfortable. Yeah, like white. I think black always had some play against that bishop, and bishop c3 now. So
Rook
if
into h2, how does this bishop survive?
uh, you have to give check, bishop b4, and if the king goes to d8, you have bishop f7. If it goes to f6, you have bishop e8.
Right. Yeah. But do you think with this pawn on g4 and this pawn on f2, black still has a lot of chances to trick white? Bishop e4, bishop
Definitely.
f3, rook h1.
Exactly. Bishop comes to f3, and then already the f2 pawn looks very vulnerable. You can pick it up after, let's say, bishop f3, white goes king e1. You can go rook h1 check, king d2, and rook f1. So he plays f e4 quickly.
I just put out the best variation to illustrate uh, the danger of what you're saying.
So, Artemiev has decided to give up a pawn and go into this bishop versus rook ending, put his bishop on e3, and just hold this position. Do you
But
think
how will he exchange this pawn out?
exactly? And how does he stop? He cannot. I don't know if this is the best way, because let's say you play king e3 or king d3 to prevent the king from coming to e4. So he plays f3, right?
Yeah,
So
but this looks so super shaky for Artemiev.
it doesn't
Yeah.
inspire confidence, but maybe he can hold it. Let's see.
No, the problem is after king into f3, rook c2, I think he's just losing. He's just
Oh
losing
my
this.
god. Oh yeah, he's
Because,
actually losing.
yeah. Because if
But it's
black
so
takes this pawn,
strange. Yes, sorry, but it's so strange. F3 move, like this F2 f2 pawn is easily defendable by the bishop, right? Bishop e3 was just brilliant idea. And then f2 guards g3 itself. So this side is not a problem, right? The c4 is a problem. It was so strange to see f3
Yeah.
here.
C4 is a problem. Yeah. I think Artemiev, he was just under too much pressure, and he couldn't cope up against Aronian's blitzing of moves. Aronia was playing so fast and so tricky, and Artemiev just couldn't cope up with it. So, guys, a reminder to you: this is the Aronian against whom Arjun coped up so well, so admirably, and in fact, he fought on such equal terms. And at many moments, he was actually doing better than him. So I think Arjun's achievements in this tournament, it gets magnified even more, looking at how Aronian is destroying his opponent in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like Aronian had to pass this difficulty, and since then the other matches is very easy for him. Even though that he faced Magnus Carlsen, like it's more comfortable for him to play now against the opponents he knows better.
That is true. That is true. The opponents he's familiar with, and now why doesn't he just go Rook D8? Oh, okay. Look what he did here. You saw what he did. So there are many ways to win for Black here, but what he first does, he just goes Rook C8, taking out this F8 square for the bishop, and then after the king moves, then he goes King G6, taking out the G7 square also. Now only the king can move, neither the pawn nor the bishop. And the white pawn on B6 just runs all the way to B1. The king cannot come to the C file because the rook is protecting it. So I think even in the end, he shows his finesse.
Wow, that's killing idea.
Yeah. It looks like Artemiev would have made a draw actually after this bishop d2, bishop b4 was a huge blunder.
That's what you're figuring out. Yeah, I was looking at your expressions and thinking, am I making some mistake? Why does she have such a critical expression?
Yeah, I mean,
See, so
I just feel like maybe this bishop d2, bishop e3 with the idea to keep the b6 pawn attacked. So you always need to guard it. And if you don't guard it and attack c4 instead, I'm happy to take on b6 and exchange it for c4 pawn. And when you put one piece to guard it, how do you attack c4 very easily? You can't attack it easily with the king. You have to probably come king e4, king d3, then king c3. It's a long route.
Yeah, and also
yeah.
Black king cannot really access after rook bishop e3 and king d2. It's not that simple to access on the through c4 pawn. Maybe there are some more ideas like king f3, rook on e file and sacrifice. Maybe that's possible.
Apologies to interrupt, but I think we should probably get back to this because the live action in Ding Magnus, it has reached its zenith.
How the black pawn got on f2. That's most mysterious.
It came from g3. It came from g3 at this point, and
wow.
J into f2. So I'm not really sure about VD's prediction of Magnus winning this easily, because the unmotivated way he seems to be playing this, he cannot play blitz chess in rapid. It works in title arena. There it's 3+0, but this is 15+10. And after king h3, if black gives one more check, he has these two options. Then after queen h4 check, white just wins. Soumya, yes, please speak.
No, I love king h3. It's such a nice move. I was looking at all other king f3, king f1, queen g3, but king h3 is so cool, no? You just get rid of all checks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With you, we are really missing this commentators video being on all the time. The chat misses so many of lovely expressions, which only we can see.
For example, right now, Chad, after he played king h3, I had my mouth fully open. I was so impressed. Oh God.
Yeah, it reminded me. It reminded me of some of these
Ah, it's over.
old.
It's over. It's over. It's over. How does, I mean, just any check, queen comes, yeah, king comes to third rank, queen c6 and a8, and king goes to eighth rank, then you have check on the eighth rank and it's eight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is there any perpetual here though?
No, hard to believe. There won't be any.
It's it's gonna be so hard. King gets on c7 or b8, and then both queens will cover it.
Yeah. It's amazing the kind of protection the White King enjoys on the chessboard.
Magnus looks really tired.
Yeah, he does. He does. No wonder though. I'm not surprised. Rapid is serious chess.
Yeah.
Rapid is serious. All right, so that's the end of the game one of the day two of the final of the Goldman Asian Rapid, and Ding Liren has won the first game against Magnus Carlsen, and Levon Aronian has won his first game against Vladislav Artemiev. Now this leaves Levon needing to only score 1 point in his next three games in order to win this tournament. He just needs to make two more draws out of three games, out of which he has two whites.
That is the dream scenario for all the chess players, to have this situation when you just need a draw in three games. That is really, really nice situation. But
It is
also
a
on the
dream
other
situation.
hand,
Exactly. Yeah.
this is perfect. This is perfect. I think it's not happening at this level. At this level, it's not happening very often. But also, it's worth to mention that Vladislav Artemiev made it into the finals. And anyway, this is huge success for him, because we have seen him at some events, but still we don't see him much of the elite events yet. And now at this tournament, he shows to everybody that he deserves to be here, and he deserves to be invited to the other events as well.
Absolutely true. I think it's not just with Arteme or Arjun or Prag uh, or even AD, for example. I think there are a lot of chess players. If they get the opportunity to play more at the highest level, I think if they just get more chances, they really have that capability to show that they belong there.
Yeah.
I
So,
totally agree. And actually, Katie and Sri, I was thinking about this like this year in the World Cup, they have increased the number of spots for players. Yeah, earlier there used to be 128 men players and 64 women, but now they have
mhm.
increased the number of players because some of the players get a bye in the first round, and so they directly are qualified for the second. And I think that's a great thing because now more players get opportunity to play in the World Cup, to be part of the World Championship cycle. Even the FIDE Grand Swiss that they will be conducting in
Uh,
October,
mhm.
it is a open tournament where, of course, you need to be in the world top 100 to be invited, and there will be some wild cards as well. But still, I think these are very good initiatives because this way more players get a chance to be invited to strong tournaments and play against strong players. And if you can perform well there, you immediately get noticed. So these events are really amazing, and many more players are being noticed and given more chances thanks to these initiatives.
Absolutely, not just with the World Cup cycle or the World Championship, but also in the Champion Chess 2 cycle, anyone had the opportunity to get here, It could have been me, it could have been you, it could have been uh, Katie. Everyone had a
Why you
qualification cycle.
stopped for so long when you were saying Katie? You were not
Because
sure.
because you're not part of the Indian Championship cycle, and that's
What?
not
I'm
yet,
trying my
not yet at
best.
least. You need to be a bit stronger in Hindi.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yeah, but yeah, I think there were other qualification cycles, and not just us, but anyone in the chat, because we started with the Vidit Chess Tour in the end of February, And there were 8 qualification tournaments. The top two qualified to the knockout stage of the Vidit Chess Tour, which was won by the Gukesh. And he qualified into the top 8 from that, qualified into the Indian qualifiers for the Champion Chess Tour, out of which we got two new people, Adipan and Arjun Erigaisi. So anyone could have been part of this Champion Chess Tour. It's not just for the elite, but it's completely democratic. And I think Chess 24 has done an amazing job in enabling this to happen.
Yes, and somehow these generations are getting under the shadow of the elite players because they are not getting as much chances. This is happening also in Georgia because there are strong players. They are, of course, and they deserve to be at the places where they are. But somehow the new generation comes and they are just under the shadow of big names, and then at some point they lose the interest to be involved in chess because we invest so much time, we invest so much finances to train, and when you don't see that you are getting back as much as you are investing in, then it is just very heartbreaking for many. And that's the mainly the reason why people are not going and why they are switching the profession. So I think just to give, like, nowadays everybody and most of the federations and also like internationally, they just are, they want new faces, they want something new, and some sensations. And this is cool, I guess, like just to give the chances to everybody.
True, true.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with you, Katie. Absolutely agree with you. We all
And
want new
Preeti,
faces.
I wanted to ask you this from like the first day that we have been commenting together. Georgia has an amazing tradition of women chess players, such a formidable women's team for so many years. And of course, Nona Gapridashvili, who was world champion for 17 years. Then there was Maya Chibudanidze, who was world champion again for, I think, almost the same duration. And there is Nana Zagnidze. So many women players you have who are actually even grandmasters and cross 2500. How is the chess culture there? Is it still as strong, or is chess still a very big part of growing up in Georgia?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. And I think many would say that it's somehow changed in the other way, like rather than progressing for many reasons. And for statistics, there are 18 women grandmasters now, according to the sources that I have checked, including Jansaya Abdumalik, who just became a grandmaster. And out of these 18, from Georgia, we have five grandmasters.
Wow.
Yeah, Nona, Maya, Nana, Zagnidze, Nino Batsiashvili, and Bella Khotanishvili. 5 players out of 18. So, of course, this is huge thing. This is huge thing, and it should be somehow the government to push this sport. Like, this is amazing result. But somehow when I don't know, talking about some years, like 10, 15 years, when new generation should come, I think that, and not only I think about it, that like that's a deficit that, for example, Indians don't have this deficit for sure, and we really have it because we have lots of talented girls, and it is so hard to play like tournaments. Yesterday I was like, we have some time, right? They didn't start it, right? So yesterday I was among some Polish chess players, and they asked me when I became a woman grandmaster, because now we all are, everybody talks about newest record breaking and grandmaster and so on. And they asked me when I became a woman grandmaster, and I said when I was 17. And they're like, okay, that's not like wow, that's normal thing. Like,
No.
and I know it too because I had only 2 international tournaments per year. So I think I did my best. Like every
Yeah.
time I had a chance, I did my best. So you can't ask to you to be a grandmaster when you cannot do it. Like you cannot achieve this title at the junior championship, right? You need flags, you need norm title players. So yeah, we're also like don't have much of the strong events and all open events in Georgia,
Mhm.
and that's also an issue. Like young generations cannot show their best, and they cannot travel alone as well. They are just young, and it's up to the finances as well, and they need invitations and all these things.
But was there a surge in interest, maybe not only from public, but also from sponsors and all the federations, organizers after the World Cup and the Olympiad was organized in Georgia in 2018?
Yeah, there are always the eyes on players, but as mainly there are some problems for like this how to divide the resources, right? Like it's not right that everything goes to the top people because they already have so much, they have already achieved so much, and when you're getting them more and nothing to the young generation, that's why you have this deficit, right?
Yeah,
So I
there
think
is
it's just the problem of how they are dividing the finances and the resources is just not right.
very, very
Yeah.
fair point
Yeah, I'm
there.
sorry to bring all these Georgian problems here.
No, but it's interesting from like I think in the chat and everyone who's been following Georgian chess because really like as a player we are always in awe of your team. Like oh my God, all the five boards are strong, and we are always like Georgia, such a formidable team. And even in Olympiad or World Team Championships, whenever we see like there are three trainers and with the team, and we see that there is this culture and there is this motivation, right?
Yeah,
For
absolutely. That's absolutely. Yeah,
that is
not
very inspiring.
many team has like 2400 player at the last board in women section, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
Awesome. So I think the second game has begun. So let's dive right into it. Aronian versus Artimev, and he has played the modern defense. Artimev plays the modern defense. It started with d4 on the first move. Artimev replied with g6, and here, of course, for c4, black can play bishop g7, knight f6, or c5. There are many options, but white instead transposed to the modern defense by going to e4. So you reach the same position after 1 e4, g6, and 2 d4. And after bishop g7, knight f3, one of the best ways to counter modern. The other way is to go knight c3 and keep the option of playing f4 open. So white goes knight f3, d6, and c3. Very solid system here chosen by Aronian. Knight f6, bishop d3, castle, castle. And in fact, in this system, many times it becomes some sort of a Roy Lopez sort of structure because black also gets e5, but Artimev actually went for the c5 structure. So actually, in another way to play this would be to play knight c6 and go e5. But Atimev decides to be aggressive because he wants to keep his chances, right? He lost, he's down in the match. He has lost the first game as well. So he wants to play dynamically and play c5.
Yeah, Artemis certainly needs to get fired up because he needs to win at least two of the next three games. Even if he slips up in one of them, he faces very, very long odds. So I think it's already very difficult for Artemiev to get back into this now. And what do you think, chat? What do you think, Soumya and Katie? Do you still see realistic practical chances for Artemir to still strike back in the final, or do you think it's just going to be one-sided all the way from here?
I think this game is very important. I think if Artemir manages to strike back in this game, then he will have the momentum. And if he makes a draw or loses, even if I think if he loses, then the match is over. But even if Aronian makes a draw, Aronian will be in the driver's seat, because then the number of opportunities reduce. Like Katie said, he will have to make every opportunity count, and then there are just so many opportunities. So I think it will become very difficult for Artemir. So he has to strike in this game if he wants to remain in the match. What do you think, Katie?
I think that just Aronian is just so close to win this huge prize at this tournament, and also the title is very important for him. Artemiev should try to press a little bit in that sense, because this is some kind of last chance for him. This game is the last chance, so he should try to just complicate as much as possible and get the position into the one where he feels very comfortable.
Sorry. But something happened on the board that I had to interrupt.
I will take this interruption. Don't worry. I will not get with just to see this P3 here. Wow. I think Magnus sees these courses for free, right? He has an access for all.
Yeah. He has access to all of it for free. No, but I think I really don't think he would have.
I'm sure he can afford to buy the whole company itself. He owns it, no? Actually, he has bought it.
Yeah, kind of.
I already bought it.
Yeah. I think Magnus really didn't get enough sleep yesterday after the titled arena. And guys, when you don't have enough sleep, your brain doesn't quite function the way it should be. And here we see the result already. We saw that in the first game, and now we see it in the second game as well. But sorry, Katie, please continue from where you left. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Oh, Magnus is eating something. What he is really eating? This is not noodles. He changed the menu as well. Yeah, he doesn't look good today.
Yeah, he really looks sleep deprived. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should get the screenshot of his expression with 1B3 position and do a statutory warning out there. Like how they put.
You think it's ice cream? I think it's ice cream and brownie fudge and all this. Interesting.
Oh, that's what you are. That's what your expression was, huh? I thought something happened on the board.
One.
Chat can guess what it is.
It looks really yummy.
But guys, let's quickly shout out the evil idea of Srinath that we just ignored. He just asked, let's go back at the move 1, B3, and then please screen Magnus' face and B3 together. That's how I heard it.
Yeah. Let's get this screen grab, guys, and let's show the world what happened. What state you need to be in order to start with 1B3.
Yeah, talking about Artemiev, I think he has to complicate now. This is the last chance for him, and he has nothing really much to lose, because I think not many people could predict it that Artemiev could make it finals. So, and even himself, maybe it's something that he did not plan to achieve at this tournament. Yeah, to be more realistic, when there is a current world champion at the tournament, you don't really count that you will get just in front of him with the points, right?
Yeah, true. True,
Yeah,
true.
I hope that he will somehow at least he will enjoy with this game and with the final games at this tournament.
Yeah, but what has been surprising about the final so far is the disparity in speed. Yeah, how quickly Aronian has been playing and how slowly Artemi has been responding. What are your thoughts on that? Both Soumya and
Yeah,
Katie.
that's
No,
yeah,
I think
that's
Aronian has been playing fast from the first day of the CCT. So I think this is just his match strategy, in this tournament. Like he doesn't care as much about the tournament position on the board as much he cares about the position on the clock. It's just a higher priority for him in this tournament. That's what I feel.
Right, and Katie.
yeah. I think he already passed the hardest phase of the tournament, and now this is easier for me. It looks like it's now easier. The way
Are
he
you are
acts,
you
the way he
referring to the
plays.
semifinals or the quarterfinals when you say the hardest part of the tournament?
For him, the hardest part was way much earlier than the finals. I think so. And now, when he's already in the finals, he's very confident in himself, and this is also visible at his choices and at his moves, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
make a good point there, actually. Yeah, he actually was a more, I think, a little shaky against Arjun, for example, because he did not know what to expect. That was one reason. And Arjun was putting a lot of pressure on him. So he was a bit shaken by that as well, at how motivated Arjun was. He even mentioned, yeah, in his post.
Exactly. That's how I felt. Just to watch the camera, how relaxed he is after that match, and how stressed and focused he was. Like, you don't want to lose against the lowest rated participant of the tournament. Like, we're still just players, and we know how it feels. You just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
You
super
might
pressure.
lose it later, but not there, because you're somehow think that you're losing some respect or something. I don't know. This just works in that way.
Yeah, and
yeah.
overcoming Magnus was also a huge confidence booster, I suppose. Even though for him, he has, I mean, at their level, I'm sure they have beaten each other and everything, but still, it gives a special kind of confidence to overcome Magnus in the tournament and then to reach here. Yeah, I totally agree with what Katie said, that this is probably the easier part of the tournament.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. But I think it's unlikely that we kind of expected or predicted that this would be the easier part, yeah. But it just seems like Aronian has peaked perfectly. He has warmed up in such a way and he has peaked perfectly. And another interesting fact is I think this is maybe the first time that someone has won both the league stage, the qualifiers, the first 15 rounds. Aronian was the first, and he's also likely to win the tournament. I think this is the first time that this has happened.
No, but then Magnus do it. Magnus also did it, no, in the April edition.
Did he?
Maybe
I'm
chat
not
can help.
I'm not sure.
Let's
I'm
ask
not
chat.
entirely sure. Yeah, let's ask chat. Prabhat is like drinking game. Take a shot every time Shri disses one B3 or praises Arjun.
Guys, what about this position? Who stands here better?
It looks very nice for white. It looks really nice for white because black is really struggling for space first of all. So his pieces are not ideally placed the way they should be. Second, it looks like black has this nice central control. He has this pawns on e5 and f5, but in reality, these pawns are actually more fragile than actually controlling something. So after bishop g5, white's immediate threat is to go knight h4, queen to h5, get this f5 pawn attacked, put pressure on this. This f5 pawn in particular is very, very, very vulnerable. With e4, black attacks the c3 pawn as well as the f3 knight. but white has one simple move which takes care of both the problems. Now the drawback of this one simple move is that this loses the d5 pawn, but white will be happy to give this up in order to take the f5 pawn, because it gets this knight onto f5. It weakens the e4 pawn, attacks the d5 knight, and it also allows white to get queen h5, knight e7 check, and all kinds of threats. So knight d4, and we actually might see a very, very early finish to the final if this happens. Uh, I think the finals might end in just 1.5 hours.
How
Because
about knight
Aronia,
d5 here? Knight d5 with idea to get knight d3.
yeah, 95 is certainly a possibility, and this is probably what Artemiev has in his mind. So knight e5, maybe the line continues with queen h5.
The rook is hanging, so I think bishop d7 should be played.
Yes, but the problem with bishop d7, I think you lose a pawn on f5. Bishop into e7, rook into e7, and knight into f5. And the problem with losing the pawn on f5, you also lose the pawn on e4. It's a buy one get one free offer for white.
Yeah.
So I think you have to play rook f8. And Soumya, you can tell us what you're smiling about.
I'm just chit chatting with the chat, so just yes. Let's get back to the games. It's always nice to talk to the chat in between and see what they're talking about.
True. But we are missing your attacking. Okay, look at what Aronia has played. He just ignores this pawn on e4 and plays this super strong move, which is also the first move of Stockfish, by the way. Killer move,
Wow,
knight g3. And he played it in just 95 seconds.
wow, so strong.
Nice.
It's already better for him, is it, or is it complicated? Because I like this position as white now. The more I look at it, and also black's position is very cramped. No, all his pieces are still inside.
Yeah. White is crushing black. White is just crushing black in that position, in this position. And
What do you guys think? He is it his home preparation, this position, the ideas, or he just find this move on the board?
knight g3, I'm certain he found it on the board. He couldn't have prepared for 18 moves in this obscure modern variation where
Yeah.
black could have played 100 different things.
Yeah, I also don't think so because already Katie, this sixth c5 idea is not that popular in the modern against this c3 variation. Usually, black goes knight c6, e5. He tries to go bishop g4 if he's allowed to do so. So c5 is just not the main idea in this line, and black then played e5, b6. So white's moves were very natural. I think he just Aronian just played natural moves and got a good position out of the opening. That's what happened.
Yeah. All his moves are just very natural.
So
Eat
black
f3 taken, and Katie, the thing I always repeat in our Chess 24 India broadcast in such positions, I would so happily tag Soumya into such positions, and she will find mate within the next 10 moves.
You know how to use this strong weapon, right?
Yeah. So if I was playing a game, a tag team chess match with Soumya, I'll just try to get a position where all my pieces are paying attention to the opposition king, and then I would just tag her in, go get some coffee or a milkshake, and when I come back, the opponent is mated.
But look at how much Aronian is enjoying himself. He took knight into f5 within 37 seconds. I mean, he's just enjoying himself. He's like, oh my God, I'm having the time of my life. And didn't even bother to stop and calculate much. Just going for it.
Yeah. He says that after knight takes f5, there is rook e8 and the king is exposed. E-file is controlled and many pieces are hanging here. And he just goes immediately with that.
Yeah, and let's just show chat what happens in the variations here. Yeah, maybe let's ask chat. What if knight f8 in the first place? Now what do you do as white? White to play, and how do you win more material? So this is the first question.
But the
But
game
I
is
really don't.
moving
Yeah,
very fast. So we don't have time to take questions. Maybe after the game is over, we can do that, and let's just see the live board, because I think it will be over very soon.
it will. It will. True. He took rook into e5, and now
Yeah,
d6. This is
six.
the position we have.
Now
So,
it will.
guys, if Aronian wins this game, they will not play the final game.
Right. I think it's the second game, and if he wins this, he won the first game. So he would have won two, and the match can maximum be drawn. And since he has won the first yesterday, the first match yesterday, he will just
Yeah,
be.
it's kind of like how you win the first three sets in a tennis Grand Slam match. Yeah, then you don't need to have fourth and the fifth set.
Mhm.
Okay.
Soumya?
Yeah, totally winning for white. No, now bishop e7 is easy way, I guess, because after rook e7, pawn into e7. Maybe black can take queen e7, because after queen d1, rook d1, you are also threatening rook d8 next. I think there are so many ways for white to play this. Even queen f3 is a move that came to my mind. He plays queen f3, yeah, because a8 rook is attacked and queen f6 is threatened. Oh my god. There is a checkmate after queen f6. By the way, let's say black plays rook b8 here. White can play queen f6, king g8, bishop h7, king h7, queen f7, king h8, and bishop f6. Beautiful checkmate.
Beautiful.
We
I did
saw
not
it
see
after
this.
bishop h7, right?
Yes. One rook and one bishop down, but nobody cares.
Beautiful.
Yeah, true, true. Beautiful indeed. Beautiful, beautiful way to finish. Beautiful way to win the gold money Asian Rapid. Golden Games by Aronian.
Absolutely.
A
Oh,
performance worth its weight in gold.
And guys, it's very likely to happen because now a rook is hanging, and it's not that easy to give up this rook over here. Something like bishop e7 looks so natural, and we might see the checkmate here after queen f6.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that Aronian has managed to beat someone like Artemiev in such a way that Artemiev has completely broken down. He seems helpless to fight back. He has been beaten in such a way that it's like the knockout in a boxing match. Even if Artemiev gets a chance of being counted to 10, it would be hard for him to recover. He's been completely knocked out.
Yeah, I have a feeling like he lost the energy after the match in Dinkley rank against Dinkley rank, because he had also a very tough time there. He
Yeah,
was losing the match, and then he fight back so hard, and they don't have rest day to recover. And if you have like a bad sleep, that's it. That's it. You can, at this level, you cannot take carry it any longer, and your opponent is getting stronger and stronger after every round. If you win, your opponent is
exactly.
stronger then, so that's really hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just at this level and at this not just I think limited to chess. I think any sport when especially when it requires such high levels of energy from the brain, I think you really need to have that sleep and nutrition.
Yeah.
Knight g6 played, and Soumya, stage is yours once again when there's a mate.
I was replying to a message in the chat. In the variation that we showed, someone asked what if he doesn't take, but actually he has to take. So the variation we showed is forced.
Yeah, bishop d7, for
The
example.
right. So all this is forced, and black has to take on h7, and this is a forced checkmate, and that's why he doesn't
Yeah, everything is
allow
gonna
it.
only move.
So
Let's check
black,
and hmm?
yeah, black played knight g6. Um, I think we can also take on a8, no? Or is there a better way? I think we can just take on a8 now. Oh, we can also no, taking on a8 would be the best way, I think, because let's say we play queen f6, king g8, bishop e4, trying to be very smart. He can play bishop b7, and that might backfire. We can play
Yeah,
queen f6, king g8, and bishop g6, but then again, black can play rook e6, and again, it is not clear. Maybe black is better there as well. So just better to take on a8, I guess.
take on 8. And what is your recommendation, Katie?
Okay, to take on a8 now, there will be bishop b7 and some counterplay, right? After queen c6.
Yeah. There will be some counterplay. Although after f3, it all gets. If you
What?
mouse flip like this, you get mated though. This can happen in online chess.
We
Yeah,
need to
f3 and rook on a8. Oh,
That's
yeah,
exactly what happened.
yeah.
Rook a8. We'll see the answer to this. But d7 should be the move here.
right. D7 is very nice, no?
Yeah.
After rook 8. And if you don't play rook 8, white is already threatening b5 or bishop e4. Two options. Bishop e4 kills immediately. So black is totally busted.
Oh, we have this position actually. We have this position. Queen is already on a7.
Yeah. We do. And now if queen c6, then f3, and now rook a8. I think d7 is one of the simple methods, and b5 is also an option here if you want to keep this pawn, which is so advanced. Oh no! Black wins here.
Ah, queen c5.
Black wins. Yeah, black wins here. Yeah, so I think d7 is the move. f3, rook a8. But it's actually Arteme who's doing the thinking. Yeah, it's down to 2 minutes again. Aronian still has 10 minutes. He has 8 minutes more. And even in this type of a question, when you normally expect White to be making sure he's going to win the championship, he's so winning. If it was me, I would really make sure I would try to check and recheck if d7 is working or not, if I'm not making any mistake. But Aronian is just playing incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Unbelievable speed, unbelievable performance. It reminds me of some of the tournaments that Roger Federer used to win back in the times. He would just crush his opponent in 3 sets straight in the final. And I think Aronian's performance has been something similar in the final this time.
What a beast. What a beast. Let's have a look at their expressions. Artime feeling quite calm, but I think that's because he knows that it is time to resign. Oh my God. The game is going on, but he knows that he's lost actually.
Yeah. And he can't also find any counterplay. It's so hard here to find any kind of counterplay.
Yeah, I think you just play a bit out of inertia, like the twitching of muscles, even when someone is no longer alive. It just goes on for some time. You're not really into the game, but you still keep going out of some inertia. It lasts for some time, and then you finally find the resign button. If your opponent doesn't give you any more chances, sometimes you do come back from the dead, though.
Yeah. And here we had the head shake of Artemiev. He knows that it's not going well for him, and kind of tries to recall the variations. And also, like when you have this kind of situation, when you're losing, you also think sometimes that maybe it was not the best decision, the opening that you choose, and you could choose something different.
I think
to
Magnus certainly is thinking that. I don't know about Artemio though.
yeah.
If you know
That's
what
what
I'm
I do
talking about in
sometimes
this game.
when I still have time, when I don't want to resign, I'm thinking like I could play some other opening.
No, I mean the opening that Magnus played, even if I was winning that game, I would still be thinking the same.
So king g8, and actually he can take on b7 now. He can also give a check on d8.
Chat, how would you finish black off from here if you are Aronian? This is your chance to visualize yourself in Aronian's place and imagine you're winning the CCT with this sequence. How would you choose to finish? It's actually an option. It's like a buffet here, you can choose from so many different options, and you can choose whichever one you want. And let's see if Aronian has already taken queen into b. I really don't think we should be asking chat questions about what Aronian will play. I think it's wiser to ask questions about what Artemio or Ding will play, because Aronian and Magnus, they're not going to give us chances today.
Yeah, they're playing too fast. Both are
Yeah.
blitzing different boards.
By the time we finish asking the question, they already have made the move.
Yeah, incredibly powerful game by Aronian, who is completely dominating. He can even play bishop e7 now, actually. Wow.
And do you play queen e7 or bishop e7 now?
I would play bishop e7, and Aronian as well goes for that, because if you can give checkmate, it's always good to give checkmate. So keeping the queen on the boards improves.
Katie, whenever I asked Soumya something about Aronian's move, Aronian immediately plays the move she suggests. It's been 100% match in this tournament.
He has won. He has won the game and the finals of the Melbourne Champions Chess Tour Asia Rapid Cup. So Aronian wins it so convincingly, so convincingly. He won the first match, and today he just crushed Artime with 2-0. Wow. Huge congratulations.
Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. And we had some emotions from him too. Some
We did. He gave reaction. Finally, we got to see his reaction.
It was already.
Wow.
Yeah. You would have to rewind a bit on the stream to get back that.
Yeah. That actually was a tough road for him as well. Even this is 11, it's still not easy to win these super tournaments, right? With so many players and with so many games.
Super happy for Levon. But
we have Levon's face on the screen. Levon Aronian, the winner of the Gold Money Asian Rapid, which is part of the Meltwater Champion Chess Tour, he wins a first prize of $30,000. The Armenian number one, Levon Aronian. And what do you think, guys? Is it his first tournament since he announced his move to the USA? Is this his first?
He already represents USA, or he still has the Armenian flag? Because I see he still holds Armenian flag.
He still has an Armenian flag, but I do imagine that he might have started getting support in some ways from the US, in terms of infrastructure or people working for him.
Actually, he mentioned that he plans to move the US after the FIDE World Cup because, the World Cup is happening in Russia and it's easier for him to travel while he's in Europe. So once the World Cup is over, he will be moving to the USA as a home.
Oh wow, that's going to be really tough for him to play some of the events in Europe because it's going to take a lot of hours for him to travel back.
Yes, but not as long as it takes from Nashik.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow, huge congratulations. I'm really happy for him because he had a very tough year, 2020, much tougher than it was for most of us, probably, as everyone knows. And this is his first tournament victory since then.
Oh, he had such a tough year, Aronian. First, he lost he lost the wife just at the starting of the pandemic time. Then a very very hard situation occurred in Armenia because there was some conflict, and it affected everyone. And then he had to make a huge decision. It's not easy to change the federation when you are a hero in your country. This is so something huge that you have to change the federation, and you hurt the people who were supporting you for years. And for the small nations like Armenia, it matters a lot. It matters that people like Levon exist in their countries. They created him, and then at some point they have to let him go. And this is very very big. So far, what we know about him, he had to face with three very big
Life
issues
changes.
this year, and including pandemic time, which is already very stressful for everyone. So I'm very happy for him, and winning the tournament will absolutely take him back in his best form and best mental form as well, this which is also very important for everyone, right?
Completely
Yeah,
agree there, Kitty. And also, he will be playing the FIDE World Cup, no? So I think very nice to have this win in your pocket just before a very, very important tournament, which could give you the chance to qualify for the World Championship cycle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, after the match, Harika said exactly the same. Like, all these tournaments, online tournaments, are just perfect training for them right before the World Cup. You can't ask better training than a very big event, right? And strong opponents.
Exactly. And Anish, he is also a wonderful example of this because the candidates, as everyone knows, was split in two halves. And his first half of the candidates did not go as well. He lost the first round against Nepo, and he was doing all right, not so badly, but it was going just all right for him. And then he had this amazing year where in the beginning he was struggling a bit in the rapid events that he was playing, but he was still playing a lot. And then at some point he got used to playing in these rapid and blitz and everything, and he started to play so well, and he even won his last event before the second part of the candidates. He won the March edition of the CCT, and that must have given him a lot of confidence, by the way, against Nepo in the finals. So his main competitor in the candidates, he beat him in the finals of the CCT March edition, and then went for the candidates and had a great second half. So it's amazing how much confidence you get, how much these online tournaments have helped the players actually.
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely, I think, a fantastic practice. I can totally imagine. Also, in chess, whether we look at the board on the screen or whether we look at it on the board, I think 90% of it we tend to visualize within our brain in some way or another. I think even 95% of it. So being in the situation, it's immensely helpful. Meanwhile, what do you think is going on in the third place match between Ding Lijin against Magnus Carlsen? To me, it looks like Magnus, the world champion, even Magnus, is reaping the deserved consequences of starting the way he did in this game. And you can just read it from the evaluation bar if it is not clear to you.
I'm just reading all the messages in the chat, and there are so many nice wishes for Levon. Shashwat Chakraborty says insane mental strength. And a lot of people are going Sandeep Maheshwari OP.
Yes, indeed. Levon deserves a lot of appreciation. I think we should really spam Levon Oronian OP with lots of hearts, and then let's send a screenshot and send it to him saying "Love from India." Let's do it.
That's nice.
Love from
That's nice.
India and Georgia.
That's nice.
And meanwhile, on the board, I think, if some of you, there might be a few of you, like, 0.1% who are still paying attention on what was happening on the board. And in case you are wondering what happens if Magnus took this pawn. Uh, then there is rook b1 check, bishop f1, and here queen e5 is a very strong move, attacking this rook. So now Magnus has to move this rook. There is only one place for the rook to move, rook c2. And now after queen e1, white is just uh, white is just in a situation where he cannot move any of his pieces. He cannot move the rook, he cannot move the queen, because after queen g2, the queen is bound to the bishop. He cannot move the bishop, of course, and he cannot move the king. So this is an example of a position where all the pieces of one side is completely paralyzed. It's paralysis, and black can just take this pawn and promote the queen. So this is why Ding Magnus played rook c1 instead, but Ding takes his a pawn anyway. And now what happens after bishop into a5? Chat. Is it possible? And in case any of you are attentive and diligent, even while we were talking about the different things, I already showed the consequences of the a pawn going and the pawn queening through my arrows. I don't know if you have started being fluent in this Shri method of sign language with arrows, but if you did, congratulations to you.
No, I think Ding is totally in the driver's seat. And the key point is that it is not possible to take bishop a5. So if our chat can find out why bishop a5 is not possible, I think they will
Okay.
also be able to.
Sorry.
Ding.
Here black has to find it.
Magnus.
Here black has to find it. The moves here. Yeah, bishop into a5 and black to play. It's not easy. It's very hard. It's very, very tough. But
Yeah,
I
exactly. And
believe
if
in
you
our
can
chat.
find it, you can actually beat Magnus if you were in this position against him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are tagged in this position, this can happen, by the way, because on streams we do all kinds of things. So someday, instead of doing a sub battle, we can have games with each other and a way for the chat to actively participate in the game. How would that be? Like imagine we are having a sub battle and we are playing a game against each other, and the chat then decides by vote what move they want to play. So it's a way of playing pairs chess but with the chat.
Yeah, that's fun, I guess.
So this is how we train our chat.
Oh,
We
that's
ask
fun.
questions like this. So then when we do sub battles like the one we did, you can imagine how strong our chat becomes.
Wow. By the way, most of them, everyone who gave the answer actually found the move. Deepak, Prabhat Datre, and Sayan. Let's see the Chess 24 chat. Saugata found the move. Fantastic, guys. So strong, so strong. Yeah, bishop b4 absolutely kills it, because after bishop b4, you're attacking the a5 bishop. It has nowhere to go. You have to take on b4. And after cb4, the b pawn cannot be stopped. What a
That
nice
was
Yeah,
thematic.
beautiful.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
super thematic way, how strong pass pawns can get in the end games. So Magnus taking his time, but I think he knows that this is already out of control now. Oh, he plays. The game. No. The game has gone ahead. Wow, I did not realize
Yeah,
that.
Magnus did not take bishop to a5 at all. He played bishop d2, then bishop b4, bishop f4, queen a7, empowering this pawn. And now he starts rolling it forward. So if Ding wins the second game, Katie, I think you might get what you wanted, another tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But I'm happy. I'm happy with the result of both the games so far. I feel like justice has been served in terms of the opening chosen in both the games and the subsequent result. Chat, what do you think about that?
A3 on the board.
I
So,
Prabhat makes a fantastic comment. Did you see that?
no, I haven't. Please read it out for us, no?
Yeah. So White's
can-
b3 pawn is no more, but the g3 pawn is still standing strong.
That's a good comment. That's a good comment.
Yeah, that's a good comment. He deserves to be,
Read out.
yeah, he deserves a shout out.
So maybe one plan, I'm just wondering how does black win? One plan is to simply go f6, e5 and e4, no? Or does that create weaknesses?
Bishop c1.
No, no, no. a3, bishop e5 has been played. So here
Yes.
f6.
Yeah, bishop f4.
You will play bishop f4. I was thinking you'll keep the bishop on b8. So
No,
bishop
bishop, what
f4.
will it do on b8?
How about
For
queen d8,
white,
queen a5 idea?
yeah, I
Oh,
think queen d8,
that's
queen
also
e5 is very powerful here.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what he will play. Because for white, his plan is to try and get some bishop f4 bishop. Two plans, yeah. One is with bishop e5, he wants to maybe try and create some threat here. But I don't really see it happening. Because I think queen d8 is a really strong move. Very, very powerful move. With the idea of queen e5.
Yeah, and
And
bishop
we might
f4 would not be working anyway, because after queen a5, this pawn is unstoppable. a2, bishop c3. So yeah.
But he plays f6 instead. So Soumya is just not just guessing Aronian's moves, but now she has morphed into Ding also.
But this is also winning, no? Like I agree actually completely that Queen D8 was much stronger. But I think this should also win after F6, Bishop F4, E5, Bishop C1 and E4. And how are you defending?
Yeah, I
Because
think you're right, Soumya. You're right. This is also winning and exactly what he has played. So now let's show what happens after Bishop into A3. So now how do you continue?
so I thought I'll just take on D3 now. And after you take on D3, I have Queen E1 and Bishop F1 runs into Bishop D3 and that's game over.
Yeah, so this is checkmate. Now what if D into E4 as Magnus took and now Bishop into A3? And
But even
now
here,
what do
if
you
I
do?
take on G2 and take on E2, looks so strong because the D pawn is the main passer now. And we did have the B. We earlier we had the A pawn as the main passer, but now we have the D pawn as the main passer. So the pawn that promotes has changed, but the pawn still promotes. You can't stop it.
Yeah, the queen controls all the squares on its path, yeah. You just have to watch out for some perpetual check on f5 c8, which can easily be prevented with queen e4 check. So Magnus plays bishop f1. He's still fighting on. Oh, he's resigned. He played bishop f1 and resigned. And certainly not a happy looking Magnus out there.
Oh.
Oh, he resigned. I mean, because of Bishop B7, is it? And Queen E4. Maybe that was the reason. Hello?
Yeah, sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah. Maybe the point was Bishop B7 and followed by Queen E4, and maybe that's why he resigned. Huh?
Yeah. It's quite possible. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. I just need to be away for a minute.
Right.
I'll just be back. I mean, I'm here, but I just need to look at something.
So they will play two more games, right? Magnus and Dinkler. It's gonna be same time control, or we have already the tie breaks.
No, it's the same time control. So we have basically the format goes like 4 games of rapid in each match, and there will be 2 matches. And if both the matches are tied, then there will be tie breaks of 5+3, 2 games. And if that is also tied, then there is Armageddon. So in this match, the first game was won by Ding and the second as well. So Ding only needs to make a draw in the third game to force tie breaks.
So half points out of 2.
Yep.
All right. What's our predictions?
I actually predict tiebreak because Ding is so strong with white, no, and he can definitely easily make a draw with white if he wants. Like,
but how about if he wins, he wins the match without tie breaks, right?
No. He still goes into tiebreak. So the score, the difference doesn't matter. You just need to win the match. It doesn't matter
okay.
What kind of margin did you win it. So,
okay, for him, yeah, it doesn't really matter to go crazy and win the game, like if draw is enough. All right. Yeah, also he seems in very good form at this tournament, Dingliran. And we were talking about the time zone because it was changed for this time. Do you think that it's the affect why he is in very good form? That he has
Yeah,
very
of course.
comfortable time.
Completely, I completely feel so because I mean, in general, also, now you're just more awake in the day than in the night. I mean, even if you
Yeah,
print the chess part, all the conversations also make more sense in the day than in the night.
yeah,
Even the people prefer to have conversations late at night with friends, but already after a point, you're like not making any sense and
yeah.
just saying whatever. So I think, are you a night person or a morning person, Katie?
I'm morning person.
Me as well, but because of the recent, the streaming and the commentaries, everything, my sleep schedule is very
Yeah,
different now compared to what it used to be. But I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to at least minimize the damage and make it
yeah,
to at least a sort of appropriate time, 12, 11:30. Sleep at a
yeah.
sort of appropriate time.
Yeah, I'm a morning person who has struggled to sleep at night, so I'm losing somewhere.
But when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you have so much time. Like when you wake up early,
Yeah.
you feel like you have so much time in the day and you can hear the birds chirp and the sunrise, see the sunrise.
Yeah, you're more energetic indeed, and you are doing all the things. Like I like to like I don't like to work in the evening because I'm very like it takes me some time um on the projects or even answering the mail or just a very easy task can be really long process. So I'm just like, okay, I have to turn off now the computer and I'll answer it tomorrow first thing. So, and the next morning it's just like, matter of 2 minutes or something, which I have to do it like for half an hour in the evening. So, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
can.
for me, the tournament which starts in the evening is really tough. Like once I remember, I played one tournament in Portugal, and we were starting the games at 7 p.m.
Oh,
So it was so strange for me, so strange. Like it was fine because the all the day I was just trying to relax a little bit and not to get tired, also to have some nap. And then the tournament was really fun. I really enjoyed it, but I lost several games just right at midnight. Like at midnight, I was so sleepy, I couldn't see anything, and I was just losing because of the time. But it's kind of funny thing. Like this tournament was more like for fun rather than
where is
professional.
Portugal? In Lisbon? I have never been to Portugal, by the way. How about you, Srinath?
It's
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've also never been to Portugal.
it's
Oh,
beautiful country. It's beautiful
oh,
No,
I've
country.
no,
always
no. I
heard.
was I was just talking to chat. You know,
Uh-huh.
telling them how much time before you remember me.
No, but
So
I noticed it's just that I didn't want to cut Katie in between, like, so I
I'm
just.
just joking. I'm just joking. I have also never been to Portugal. Although in your yeah, in your case, I'm a bit surprised that you haven't been to Portugal.
Oh, I've always wanted to visit it, but there are, it's you feel guilty to visit a country just because you want to visit it. You hope that you'll get to
No,
visit it as a tournament.
no,
You know? I feel guilty
no.
for that. I always want to combine it with a tournament. I just feel
Me
how
too.
to visit a place just for the like a place is okay, but like a whole country, yeah, I just feel like a bit guilty to do that. So I've never done. I've
Oh,
never been to Portugal.
you should backpack across Europe.
I think those days are gone.
Why? Because of
One
COVID
month trip
or
to Europe, like those things you do after you are done with college and you have 1 year off, and
come
I think
on, come on. I mean, no such
take
thing
1 year
like
off.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, but when you're doing by that time, you don't have money. So it's better to work first, earn some money, and then go to the places, right?
No, not exactly. The
Come on,
backpacking
when
and the
you are
hostel
finishing the
culture.
school, you don't have that much money to travel.
Not necessarily. Just even when you can afford to, let's say, even when you can afford to book yourself in a Marriott, but the backpacking and the hostel culture, the kind of people that you would meet in that experience, I don't think you would get that in a Marriott or whatever, Hilton or Marriott. You're not going to meet and talk and socialize with people which you would in a hostel or when you're backpacking and sitting
Oh,
with
you guys,
people.
have you ever booked hostel?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Once, my first time actually, I even remember when I stayed in a hostel because it was a similar experience to visiting a new country. It's just that I didn't go to a separate country itself. I was in Glasgow for a tournament in 2014 and I wanted to visit Edinburgh. And I booked a hostel there, but I was hardly in the hostel. I stayed there for like just the night, and the whole day I was just traveling and seeing the city for 2 3 days. So I remember this experience very well because it was my first time at a hostel, and that hostel was surprisingly clean. But I don't know if I would um, like stay in a hostel every time. Like it's just that was a experience, and I liked it. What about you?
Yeah, I accidentally got in the hostel. I thought I booked a hotel. I did not read it while it was hostel, reading with the letters. And when I entered to the room, I was like, oh, why there are so many beds? I was like,
Oh,
wow.
so you stayed in a dormitory hostel? No, I
Yeah,
think
like it was at least, and I was suspicious because it was saying women, men, and mixed, and I was like, mixed sounds very suspicious. Men, okay, let's put just choose. It was just, I was so tired. I was booking from the airport, and when I went there, it was like it was very nice hotel. It was in Spain, beautiful place. I forgot the name.
Sevilla.
And
Sevilla
and
is very beautiful.
sorry?
Sevilla, was it Sevilla?
No. This is the edge of the
Okay,
French border.
okay,
Ah, San Sebastian, San Sebastian.
okay.
Oh,
Yes.
that is a
San Sebastian
beautiful
is
place.
beautiful place, and this place, the hostel, which I thought it was just a hotel, but the small one was very close to the train station or the bus station. It was perfect for me because I could walk like for two minutes. I think anyway I would just choose it if I knew it was a hostel because it was super close. And then at 2 or 3 a.m., I woke up with so much noises and parties. Some girls were partying. I was like, who are in my room? Who are those people? And then yeah, I realized what happened. But it was fun actually. There were some surfers there at this place. They go. A lot of surfers go there and they party all the time. So it was fun experience.
Yeah, I stayed in a lot of hostels, mixed dorms and uh, private rooms in hostels in different places, where there's a very nice common room where people are really friendly in those kind of settings. Especially in the Scandinavian countries where it's really expensive to stay in any
Yeah.
hotel.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's super expensive.
So I think the best part is socializing, and of course there are also hostels where they just give you a tent and you stay there.
Tent?
Yes,
Really?
yeah. I didn't stay in the tent, but
Oh no.
I asked someone who's staying there if I can spend some time to see what it feels like, and it was a really cold time. It was something like 15 degrees, 10 degrees. It's not cold for Europe, but can you imagine that without all the centralized heating, with the cold wind coming into your where you're sleeping at night, and they just get used to it. So yeah, I
Yeah.
have But it's interesting. Then you make a lot of friends from different countries.
I
Oh
had
yeah.
an amazing experience recently. It was not with a hostel, but it was like basically I went to a forest to trek, and it got very late to come back, and you have to come climb back 3,000 steps. So it's very it takes some time the journey back home, and I just thought it will get very dark by the time we come back. So I just decided to stay in the forest itself for the night. And in the forest, there were like people stay in the forest, right? So they built some sort of house there, but it was like just one room with like that's it, yeah, and like a very very small room, just one bed, and that's it. And you're in the middle of the forest. It was a very interesting experience, but and I would do it again, but you also have to like be okay with. I mean, it was not like the most fanciest place. Let's just put it that way. So if you're okay with these things, then it makes for a nice experience because in night at the night, especially in forest, you can see fireflies and you can see the stars in the sky. Like it's very beautiful. But there
Yeah.
are some challenges as well. So
Oh, snoring, for example. If somebody snores, that's
yeah, yeah,
somebody
yeah.
snores.
But we got a
It's
private room, so that really helped. Like it was not a dorm or something, so that helps.
nice, nice.
Yeah, that certainly helps. Prabhat Datre is going like, look at Soumya casually saying people stay in the forest, right? Come on, Prabhat. It's just a forest. It's not like it's forbidden forest. And Hermione has spent a lot of time in the forbidden forest.
So, are the games starting or did we simply miss them? No,
No, no, no,
they're
no.
yet
Of
to
course
start.
not. If the game start, do you think I would miss it, Soumya?
Sri is there. If the game started and we're talking about some some experience, he will do some arrows on the board anyway. He
Yeah,
will be
true, true.
commentating anyway.
I mean, a part of my brain is always processing chess moves automatically. Is it the same with you guys? You know,
No, not at all.
you know, like when I see a chess position, even when I'm talking with someone, there is, it's like how in on chess based, if even when you have Chrome open, for example, you turn on an engine there, it keeps processing. So one CPU, it's always thinking about the position, and all my other CPUs talking with people and watching YouTube and all these things.
You're a
Oh,
pro.
but
You're a
it
pro.
depends. That means you're not very interested in the conversation because if the topic interests you or the person interests you, you will pay your full attention. That is the difference, right? What do you think, Katie? She agrees with me. Look at her laugh. She agrees.
Katie is very polite.
Uh,
She doesn't even speak the truth about AD.
What? No, I have no. I don't know. Like, I need to focus on chess to speak on chess. Like for me, it's so hard to focus. Like even when I'm watching for some minutes. But for
Oh, look
you,
at look at Shrishti in the chat. She has become such a pro, and she already knows the name of the opening on the board. What an amazing mod! What an amazing person.
you trained well.
She has a very refined sense of chess culture. I also played a bullet game against Shrishti, so she learns fast. She's a very good mod, and she's also a big Potterhead, by the way.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to have people like that. Wait,
what
I
is this
posted.
opening? Queen A5 check. Wow. Not the most usual move in the position for sure.
Yeah,
Magnus trying his best to complicate matters. Knight E4 on the board. Um,
muddy the waters.
Queen D3 is something that comes to mind. Okay, Bishop D2. Now you have to take either on D2 or on C3. Probably he'll take on D2. So Knight D2, Queen D2, and maybe Knight C6 or D6. Okay. So He just wants like a complicated, non-theoretical position on the board. What do you guys
Where he
think?
has the pair
Magnus
of bishops.
will get what he wants, or Ding will make a draw comfortably?
No, I think Carlsen has already got what he wanted because when Ding played bishop d2, which is not the most critical move here, he already gave up his pair of bishops, which makes this g7 bishop unchallenged. And this position we have right now, it's I think the best version of Maroczy bind or any Benoni position that black can get, depending on whether white plays d5, which would go into Benoni structure, or d into c5, which will go into the Maroczy bind structure. So um, I think Magnus has already achieved what he wanted in the opening.
Why
What
he's
are your
smiling?
thoughts?
Oh no, sorry, laughing. Actually, it's not smiling.
Yeah, I think is Vaibhav Setia in the chat?
Why?
Do you know Vaibhav Setia? He's a guy of many talents, and one of it is
Webber.
stand-up comedy, of course, and
Oh,
very
but I don't.
popular guy across.
Do you think VD forgot to make Webber a mod? That's weird. I don't believe that. I don't think this is our Webber.
Yeah, true. Although Bishwa sometimes comes and hangouts in the chat, and we don't know which Bishwa it is.
I don't think this is Vaibhav, but Kitty, by the way, Vaibhav is a stand-up comedian and he is very much interested in chess. So when Samay started to stream chess, Vaibhav also joined him, and they were streaming on chess and learning chess almost every day of last year since March, and it has continued even now. Even now, he regularly uh, learns chess from Sagar, and it's very inspiring. I mean, because of them, a lot of people got inspired and got into chess.
Oh, that's beautiful, and also, not chess players spending so much time for chess. That's a lot of dedication and lots of love for this chess community, and also the itself chess game. This is really beautiful.
Yeah, so much dedication. I don't think I played as many games online as he did last year. Like maybe not even half.
Wow.
I have to go and count actually, but I'm sure I didn't. I'm pretty sure I didn't. So Rook C1 um, on the board. Bishop G4 as expected. Um, Now actually white needs to take a decision because the d4 pawn is hanging. He could go d5, but once he goes d5, knight e5 will be on the board, and like once he defines the pawn structure, white black bishop will become even more powerful. So, but he has played d5 because I don't think he had many options there. So he has played d5. Magnus thinking whether he wants to take on f3 or play knight e5, but I think he's
Exactly what I wanted to ask you. If you would
Yeah,
consider
but
taking
after
this
bishop
first.
e2, I think that's comfortable for white. Now he can push f4, kick this knight back, and that get bishop back on f3.
Yeah, true. I think maybe it's better to keep the bishop, for strategic reasons. In general, black wants to break at one point here, which is something I want to. I'm just curious, so I want to ask the chat. So, pawn breaks. Talking about pawn breaks, we all know what pawn breaks is. Based on the theme in this, he has taken bishop into f3. Okay, so that's a egg on the face of the commentary panel, and but yeah, nevertheless, this is a general strategic question. So, where should black try for a pawn break in this position? Where should black be trying to break white's pawn chain so that he can weaken white's pawns? Chat, if you can answer this, I'll be really, really proud of you. And it's a very tough and deep question, which for which uh, you need to you need to know the opening pawn structure. That is that is what is required. So
They know it.
they know it, yeah. Saugata Bose, Vishal Kalyan Shetty, Balanar, and Deepak Sharma. Amazing. Love our chat. I think the chat I've seen when I have been doing my streams, whether it's my channel or the Chess 24 India channel. Uh, uh, I mean, I don't want to sound too narcissistic here, but it's the best chat I've seen across all internet. Small group, but amazingly friendly group with
Justice
excellent.
for my chat and justice for Katie's chat and justice for Vidit's.
Yeah, my chat
I'm
is
going
also
to.
here. We're a small number, but still we represent, and I would like to send them greetings. And
Yes.
it's so important. It's so important to have supportive people in the chat. This is very important.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just seeing them, I think they're my friends forever. It's very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sometimes
But
I feel
the chat is maybe kind of like our children, yeah. So we all think ours is the best.
Oh, in my case, I'm pretty much myself a child there because I act weirdly with technicalities, so they have to fix what I ruin, and somehow they are adults already. I miss that part.
so. What's happening, guys? Knight c4 is probably not possible because of tactical reasons like knight a2 and
Knight A2
a4.
is, yeah.
Knight for free. I mean, you get two pawns, but they are obviously not enough after queen b2 and queen into c4. So, what does
Yeah,
black do here instead of knight c4? I'm surprised by bishop f3, by the way. Were you also surprised, or you thought it was okay? I thought
yeah,
it
a
was like,
little bit.
yeah, not the most expected decision. Queen c2, and I think, yeah, I think e6 maybe. Maybe black needs to play e6, no? Or can he do without this move? Like what he needs to come up with a plan actually. Otherwise, white will just sit and sustain. He just needs to make a draw. He doesn't need to do anything actually. He can just make rook d1 and h4 and something.
Yeah, he just has to maintain status quo. I also didn't like this bishop into f3 at all of Magnus. And the problem, if he plays something like e6 here, white can maybe even play something like f4 because knight into c4, there's always knight a2. And if the knight goes back, then the consequences of these two weaknesses, it's going to be very tough to face. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't like this pawns on e6 and d6, to be honest.
Soumya, are you thinking about something?
I don't know. I was just looking at what the chat is saying. If we missed something, yeah,
But
I like.
how about like if White's idea here is to push e4, e5, which is blocked here, is impossible. What's the other idea? He wants to push
Oh, he goes for
f5.
b5, by the way.
Yeah,
Magnus
he
has
goes
gone
for
for b5.
b5. b5 is his idea here.
Yeah, I also thought this is what Magnus would do uh, because everything else seems to be bad. So this has to be the only way for him to try and mess things up and get some complications going. And it's not that easy to respond here as white. What do you guys think? It's not that easy because if you take with the a pawn, then black gets counterplay after rook a2, and this b2 pawn is very likely to be taken sooner or later. If you take with the c pawn, then you're just splitting your pawn structure completely. So even if black doesn't have an immediate way to take the pawn, black will, get long-term strategic compensation. He can even play something like knight d7, knight b6, and lay claim to a long-term compensation. And I don't think white is even better here at this point. The question is about, I think, good compensation. So but he has to take. He cannot, he cannot play something like b3, which is not a great move in the best of circumstances, even in the starting position. But here it seems like even more weakening. The c pawn, the a pawn, and all these things.
What's wrong with this guy? He has some flashbacks from yesterday's tournament or what? He's just laughing. Magnus Carlsen. He's just laughing.
I also noticed. Yeah, he just keeps laughing.
Yeah,
It's
and I think he's the only chess player who time to time just random just like this laughs at during the game, right? Like the other
yeah,
guys are so serious and so focused, and he out of nowhere.
true. And since this is online chess, his opponent cannot see him. But imagine Magnus doing the same in the World Championship match against Nepo.
Oh
That
no,
would be hilarious. Yeah.
no, that could be, yeah. He behaves really well at the chessboard. Like always respects the opponent, arbiter, and so on. Like there were some cases when he lose on time or for some reasons, and he was just very patient also, and he's very polite.
Except for those very rare moments when something slips out of his mouth when he blunders. Some incomprehensible words.
What would you do here as white? By the way, I was thinking to myself, and I actually saw b5 even when we were discussing the position earlier, but I just didn't believe in it. But now, the more I look at it, the more I like it. Actually, it's probably the only way that black could have continued playing for some sort of initiative.
Yeah,
White
I
took
think.
b5,
Yeah. I think this is what you. I
but
thought this is what you would take.
I don't know. I don't like it. Do you guys like it? Because maybe c4, and now already white needs to be very precise. No, I was thinking maybe ab5, knight b5 is more solid, but then it allows rook a2. But I thought it was okay to go for that position rather than this
No, I
one.
wouldn't like this as white. What do you think, Katie?
To be honest, I don't like this position for black for white from the moment when black played b5,
Uh-huh. So you
because
think,
black is always ready in these kind of positions to give up the pawn just to activate the rook, to have open files, and to open also g7 bishop, uh, and he has it here.
Yeah, but okay. Let's not forget that white is a pawn up, and
Yeah.
he could probably win a second pawn. So even if you lose all these pawns for this pawn, hypothetically, in the end, it's not so bad for white. He just puts a knight on c6, gets rook b1, rook b7. So you don't have to look so sad, Katie. You are getting the tiebreak you wanted. This I can assure you.
Yeah. I'm not sad at all. But we have
Although
suggestion
although
that
this variation, what I have on the board is not great. I think bishop c4 is a bad move because in the end the a2 knight is hanging, so white is losing too many pawns. But what Ding played, queen into b3, c into b3, and knight b4. This is, I think, just winning for white.
no,
Just
but
a pawn.
why did Magnus go queen b3? I thought he was going to go queen
That's
a5.
okay.
I mean, I really didn't expect queen b3 because after queen
And
b3,
now b4.
queen a5, b4.
Mm-hmm.
If I take,
And
maybe I don't need to take. One second. I don't need to take. No, I can go queen b6.
yeah, but here I thought I could take this,
Now rook
but I'm not. Yeah.
c8, rook fc8.
Queen e2.
And now, okay, this is the queen. Now, if I take on c4, you take on c4 with the rook, and I take on b5. You take on
And
c8 first, yeah. And then
yeah, I
you
take
take.
on c8, and the thing what I'm counting on in, like, I didn't calculate all the lines, but a typical trick, when you don't want to spoil your pawn structure, you can always close this with a5. So against a into b5, I always have a5 all the time. And with this trick, I think this protected passer is really powerful. So in all the lines, I was counting on this. So either white can take this and play a5, or he can play a5 directly. But I don't want to take a into b5 because then my pawn structure is so much weaker. I prefer a5. And I think this is also a very instructive uh, strategic nuance that the chat can know. A into b5, a5. You don't always have to go into the double pawn. You can play this move a5, and it can be quite powerful in a lot of situations.
But the position on the board is completely different. After this queen b3, they got the queen exchange. And here white has no problem because he got even knight b4 in. So the knight on a2 is no more in the corner and unfunctional, let's say. Let's put it that way. He goes to c6 now. So after a b5, bishop b5, knight f3, king g2, knight d2, rook f d1, bishop b2 in, and rook c7. What a nice move. The b3 pawn looks dangerous, but it will be lost probably because after knight e4, white played rook b1. The bishop is attacked. You have to go back. He goes bishop f6 and rook into b3. Knight c5 here. This is simply a draw because actually white can it's even better for white. No, he can play rook a3. He need not give up the a4 pawn.
Yeah, once again, Ding Lijian's a pawn. Once again, Ding Lijian's a pawn being the difference. I can't help but study the trends. I mean, it was Catalan in the first game 1-0, 1-b3 in the second game 0-1, Catalan in the third game 1-0. I mean, the results speak for themselves. I have no more words to add to that.
Awesome. So knight c5, and Ding is taking his time. He doesn't play rook a3 immediately. But rook a3, I think, works because after rook f b8, we have bishop c6. He plays rook b1. He just wants to make a draw. He plays rook b1, knight a4, bishop a4, rook a4, knight c6 on the board. I think he could have played for a win, but he just wants to save his energy maybe. So he plays knight c6, rook e8, and maybe rook b7 now.
Yeah,
And
getting into an unlosable position, and I think there is a 30 move rule in the 40 move rule. I think, yeah, you had to play 40 moves before offering a
very
draw.
surprising, no? He did not keep the pawn. Like, just better to keep the pawn and offer a draw to your opponent than play an equal position.
No, but you had to play 40 moves, no?
Yeah, but after rook a3, like it's not like this position is a draw by repetition, right? So if he just plays rook a3, rook f b8, and bishop c6, which is not hard to find, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because after rook f b8, black is threatening rook into b5. So white needs to be a little careful not to blunder away the piece. But after bishop c6 is totally fine. You save your piece with the tempo, bishop c6. And you can even play knight d3 and exchange those knights, or go knight c2 as well. But knight d3 would make.
I think this is what anyone would have done. But what you're saying, I think it makes a lot of sense. But somehow, I think they have. I don't know.
Guys,
I think maybe this is just faster for him.
I got my coffee, as you said, that we might have some time break. So I was like, okay, now it's time. Now it's time to get second cup of coffee for the energy.
Yeah, I already have 2 cups of coffee in front of me in the last 3 hours. So
yeah, tough time.
I think this is just faster, Soumya. because if he had played that rook a3, then Magnus thinks for some time, sets him some problem. Ding thinks for some time, sets him some problem. And it would have taken 10 more minutes. And Ding Lijen, he knows that Katie wants to get to the tiebreak as quickly as possible. So I think he's just being considerate. And since we pronounce his name so nicely and sweetly, this is his way of reciprocating for us and getting us to the tiebreak ASAP. Oh, Magnus actually resigned here to go into the tiebreak.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God.
I've had enough of this.
What? It's not Magnus today. I think it's somebody just.
But is he losing this, by the way?
Stormed
Because White is threatening 97. It's just interesting to know. Because he is threatening 97 now. And rook e4, knight f5 check.
Yeah, but I think there should be a way to save, because the evaluation bar is showing equal only.
Equal, acha.
Yeah.
It says equal, and he resigned.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is how I think this is how a lot of grandmasters think. They look at the evaluation bar and then there you have the evaluation. It should be equal, and then we find what is the move.
Maybe the way was rook a2, and after knight e7 you take on e7, rook e7 and rook d2, and e4 is forced, and then f5. And now you don't have f3 because the pawn is pinned.
Hey, what are you saying?
Oh, sorry. My pawn is pinned. That was.
I for a moment I thought VD came into the call.
I forgot that my pawn is pinned. I'm just thinking that you can't play f3. Maybe I need to.
No.
Why is it equal? I don't get it.
It's not him today. It's somebody else.
Definitely try and find out why it's equal.
No, but I think you can just go g4 here, and it's very hard for White to improve.
G4, but I play rook d7 and you want to play rook d4. Okay, that was the point.
Yeah.
Or rook e2.
Rook e2 is more, yeah.
Yeah, rook e2 is probably better. Yeah.
But this is not losing, right?
No, it's not losing. But why do you want to suffer here for 10 minutes when you can dash off to the tiebreaker and get back to your titled arena mode?
Wow.
You think yesterday's practice is going to come handy?
If it goes to Armageddon, yes. But 5 plus 3, it's still not the same as 3 plus 0.
Okay, who we're supporting here in our chat, and what's the predictions for the tie breaks then?
Okay, maybe Srinath can go first, then Katie, and then me.
I always knew that you were a very smart woman.
No, but in such things, I think VD is the smartest.
I actually do have a favorite, but it's just that, Katie, the problem is when I have a favorite, that person doesn't win. So I don't want to tell. But I'm actually not supporting for anyone. So I can just tell.
Just predict, yeah.
Yeah, I think Ding will win it because it's just that it's nice to have a different, than what everyone expects.
No, I'm also strongly in favor of Ding, because that way Catalan will win and 1v3 will lose.
Personal things. I also think it's gonna be Ding today because he seems very focused. He seems in at his best shape, and Carlsen, something is wrong with him today. Like we don't often see him doing stuff like this, for example, just resigning here without fighting. I have seen his game. He even played in the opponent game. One game, there was a opponent game, losing position, and his opponent, I think Karyakin, just managed to draw it. And he's always fighting, and now he just resigned here. So I think he's not in the best shape today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. He's just not in the best shape today. Um,
Guys, when you
and
have a very difficult day, let's say difficult game, or are having a difficult tournament in general, maybe 4 5 rounds in a row have not gone well, you find it difficult to also sleep early, and then it affects the next day. Does this happen often, or it's not so common with you?
it happens to me. I can easily torture myself when something goes bad, and uh, in general, I find it not easy to sleep, but especially when I have a bad game. Even there are times even when you're so exhausted as if you have been beaten up, but you still find it very difficult to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you don't sleep well, it does have an effect on you the next day.
Yeah, I have the same difficulties. In my case, it's because I'm very emotional, and very little things can make me happy and unhappy. And it also works this way. Like if I have something very exciting coming, I cannot sleep. So yeah, and it is very hard when it comes, for example, when it's like last game, and I am, for example, 1 point ahead or half point ahead. This is extremely hard. I rather prefer to be half point less, like second place, and fight for the first. I don't feel that much pressure
Okay.
when I have to catch up. When I have something like extra, then I'm very stressed.
Okay, so if
How
when you
about
have
you?
something, you're scared to lose it, but if you don't have something, then anything is a bonus.
You learned me.
That's interesting. It's very interesting. I read an interview by Sachin Tendulkar. So KT Sachin is one of the best cricketers of all time. Maybe you don't follow cricket, but it's like the most popular sport in India. Sachin said recently in an interview that he used to have problems sleeping before every crucial match. The pressure used to get so much to him, and also because people have put so much hope in him, like faith in him, that also. So it was very difficult for him to keep his nerves intact and get his sleep. So he used to feel very pressurized in crucial matches, and he could not sleep at all the whole night. And I actually had a similar conversation with another legend of Indian sport, Leander Pace. He's a tennis player, and he won a Olympic medal as well for India in '96. So he once told me that he also couldn't sleep at all after he lost, like at all. He used to be awake the whole night, and or even before a crucial match, he used to be awake the whole night. So he just developed some mechanisms to cope with it. Like he decided to make it a part of his routine. So he decided to read a book or go for a walk instead of staying in bed and hoping to fall asleep. So he just decided to accept it, and it became a part of his routine.
Yeah, that's good to know that Olympic champions also have some issues like the rest of us, and
Well,
how
I think
they are dealing with these problems, right? Oh, guys, there is like funny comment. It's related to Sri and Adipan as well. So you guys know that that's some sort of issues nowadays, and it's also for guys as well about the marriage, right? Like when are you getting married and so on. We were talking about this. So lately, I'm getting a lot of messages. I think it's about my age. Now I'm almost 30s, and now I'm getting more questions now. And I just posted on Instagram, like, many people are getting this kind of questions and how to avoid it and how to answer in a proper way. And I got many answers and a lot of funny answers. And one answer
Ah,
is,
I was also curious, to ask you about it because I also need those answers for myself.
yeah, tell when Srinath stops saying prescriptions while commentary and stops doing jokes about Adiman. So
That's a good way because I'm never going to stop making jokes about Adiban.
exactly. Oh,
Wow. So I think it's time. Is it time or we have some more? We wait some
No,
more.
no, no, not yet. Not yet.
they're not yet
It's going to
at
be
the.
5 more minutes. It's going to be 5 more minutes, but if you want to get entertained, I have put a very nice story on my Instagram, so you
Okay.
can have a look at it. And I'm just about to press the share button. Yeah, so there we go. Now you can. That's one thing you can entertain yourself with.
So what do you think? Will they go into Armageddon or not? Maybe that's a good way to.
Hmm.
I don't think so. I mean, looking at the trend of the match so far, 3-0,
Mhm.
and if you look at my story again, you will see that the trend is likely to continue because today is the day of justice.
Ding Liren is your guy, Sri.
Yeah, ding op, ding legend, FTW, ding is my. Oh no, also Magnus is my guy because he has been cooperating really well today.
Yeah, losing 1v3 game, right? I like this one.
And in case
Shashwat
you're
is,
not on.
Katie, I have to read out Shashwat's comment saying it's really funny that you're asking Indians how to avoid marriage questions. That's very true. I
No,
said,
but Indians have the most practice in that, no?
Yeah, I have to admit that I was watching some Indian show when they were arranging weddings.
mhm. You liked it?
Indian weddings. It's
You,
it's
you liked it or it's not?
Ah, I know what you're
yeah,
referring to on Netflix, right?
yeah.
You
I
liked it?
liked it.
What do you think of arranged marriage? Was it like a new concept for you? I know it existed in Europe, but still it's not so popular now, no? So was it a new concept for you or you thought it?
Yeah. I still don't understand much like how it works, but in this series, not series, like documentary, I understood it very well, like almost understood it, that there are like some several things that you want from the other person,
Mhm.
and there is someone who also has the similarities like you, and one person connects you. I think that's cool stuff.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you like the series.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
liked it.
You have also watched.
Waiting for next seasons.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna have big wedding, I guess. Now in next series.
Srinath, you have also watched it, is it?
No, I haven't watched it. No. I was just posting what I posted on Instagram on Twitter, so people who are not on Instagram can also catch it. No, I haven't watched it, but I was posting on my social media and also reading the chat in the meanwhile.
Yeah,
And
Indian matchmaking. That's the name. That's the name.
yeah, Indian matchmaking. Meanwhile, we have kickoff for the Blitz tiebreak. Finally, we have.
Yay!
Let's go.
Good, good,
Let's go.
good.
Let's go. Roy Lopez on the board, and we might get to see the Marshall. Bishop E7. What does Magnus play? Magnus is already thinking, huh? D3.
Yeah, he goes for
Pet
D3.
D3. Yes, he loves to play D3.
Yes, this is actually D3 is also what Magnus played in one of the Banter Blitz matches against Nihal, in which Nihal won with Black in the Champions versus Challengers series.
So a4. So now actually black has some options. He can play rook b8. He can play b4, or he can play bishop b7. He can also play bishop g4, which is not bad as well. But usually bishop g4 only helps white, because white might anyway play h3, then knight d2, rook e1, knight f1, g4, and knight g3. So bishop d7, another popular way to counter a4, and here bishop c2 not allowing knight a5 with a tempo. So bishop d7 का idea था कि knight a5 he'll play on the next move, and bishop c2 c5. So white plays bishop c2 as prophylaxis. Rook e8, rook e1, h6, knight b d2. He's going to go knight f1 and knight g3 next. Actually, it's a very nice setup for white, this d3 system, because there's basically a concept that you follow and you just follow it till the end. So it's very easy to learn, and you get some very smooth middle game position with lots of ideas for yourself. Rook b8.
Yeah, rook b8. Rook b8 is the last move. And which side do you prefer in such situations, Soumya? I think you play this with both the sides, right?
No, I don't play e5. I actually play d3 system with white, and I really like it. It's very comfortable to play. B4, this idea was suggested by Swidler, I think, in his Chess 24 video on the d3 Spanish, which he made a few years ago. So black also plays queen c8 and queen b7 in such positions. But Ding goes knight e7. Okay. So A, B, and D4. Okay. And knight to B3. So maybe he even wants to play on the queen side and not knight b3 is clear indication that he wants to play on the queen side and not go for this king side attack ever.
No, also with this pawn on b5, it's quite common for white to go into these positions where he takes 2 times on e5 and then exploits the c5 square. So this is also a common thing in the d3 rule opus. And bishop d2, so that he keeps control of the a5, and let's Ding decide. And I think the blitz tiebreak is kind of going to be, it's a bit funny. It's a bit ironic. Yeah. I mean, we have seen Magnus force a draw and take games to the blitz tiebreaks, but on today's occasion, it seemed as if he was completely disinterested in the rapid games, and seems to be a lot more into it during the blitz tiebreaks. So maybe he was intending to, just play blitz all along today. Not that he was throwing away the game or something. I don't mean that. What I mean is he didn't want to exert himself completely in the rapids, but it was clear that he wanted to maintain his energy. Maybe he was so completely drained that he decided it was wiser to preserve his energy for the blitz and just go there. What do you think?
But I love how Ding is handling the position as opposed to Magnus. So I'm not sure if he's totally in the zone yet. I don't think Magnus is totally in the zone. Ding got this queen c8 idea in. Then he got knight h4, knight h5, knight f4. I mean, what else does black want in the Roy Lopez or the Italian usually? And he's gone for c6 now with the idea to play d5, even bring the other bishop into the game with bishop d6. I don't think Magnus is yet in the zone, but I might be wrong.
At least he's thinking, yeah. At least he's thinking and making an effort. Even though maybe it's hard to get into the zone when you're so fatigued, but at least he's thinking, which was different in rapids. Mm-hmm. He was literally blitzing out in the rapid, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it might be some effect from yesterday's titled arena that he was playing a lot, and maybe he saw that he had very good results there and his games went well, and
no, I think
can be an effect of today's match.
I think they have a very clear gear shift in rapid, blitz, and classical. I've seen this in Nihal. I've seen this in Arjun. They have a very clear differentiator between each of the formats. So there used to be all these things we grew up with. You know that if you play too much blitz, you will end up carrying that habit in the classical. But what I studied practically in the case of these kids, that was not the case. They have very clear differentiators. So they knew what is blitz, what is classical, what is rapid, and how they want to change their time management accordingly.
Yeah.
So I really want to refute that with concrete examples.
And what about this position? I like this knight on f4 for black. And can whites fight here for a win? Seems like okay position for black.
I think, Soumya, do you want to go?
Yeah, actually, I like it for black as well because I just like, for example, rook d8 is the most natural move, you know, and followed by knight d3. As Katie pointed out, I really like the knight on f4, bishop on e6, queen on c8, all this whole formation. I
Yeah,
think
but
black.
the problem for black is what do you do next? Yeah, how do you continue forward? It all looks good
So rook
from.
d8 now, for example, and go
Sorry,
knight rook d8, like most natural move.
rook d8. So as white, I think c4 is a threat.
What is the point?
Attacking e5.
But you're not afraid that after queen c7 there will be some pin? No.
You
For
mean
example, to
after I
take.
take?
Yeah, to
Yeah,
take.
but also I think the f4 point is vulnerable. Yeah, but maybe you're right. Maybe it's
Like b
dangerous.
takes
But
c and.
in any case, the Ding he strengthens e5 with f6. Yeah, maybe it's against some c4 related ideas. Also, c4 can be executed by inserting g3 in some cases. Uh, I think a bit of a turning point in this game was this Dane to e5, and Soumya was suggesting ideas like d5 and bishop d6, but Dane to e5 very effectively took it out, and it created this c5 square. And here, this b into c5 is also a very interesting move. Not something people would take by default. They always take with the piece in these kind of situations. But by taking with the pawn, he made sure that he secures this d6 square, and then went on to plonk his rook out there. And it seems like Magnus is slowly starting to outplay Ding. Uh, what do you guys think? Do you agree?
Yeah, the position on the board is completely changed now. No, rook d1, he got the d5. After king h7, he even got rook d6. And f5, it's actually very concrete now. But the king on h7 on this diagonal looks uncomfortable, no?
Yeah,
I don't
true,
know. It's
true, true.
so concrete that it's hard to evaluate it because I think, for example, Queen B1 is a move that came to my mind, and after FE, go Knight D2. This was one of the ideas that I thought of. But what do you guys think? Like, is Black okay or White is pushing?
For me, it's strange that he played first f6 and now after some moves he pushed f5. This is something strange for me.
No, I think he also underestimated the danger at first. So after Rook D6, he suddenly realized how difficult his position is and the problems he has to solve. And Soumya, to answer your question, I think White is clearly pushing. So you suggested F into E4 here, yeah? And I was thinking there are even moves like Knight into E5, which is very interesting. Oh,
You
he
think?
just takes Bishop at F4.
Okay, then after Knight F4, we have Knight E5. And after EF4, maybe E5.
Oh, after EF4, yeah, true. This is what Ding played, and yeah, so it's pretty clear, yeah. When Magnus not in great mood, he plays one b3 when he really wants to. When he starts with one e4, once again a note for you, chat. And
Oh,
knight
even Knight
d4,
D4.
everything is falling
Wow.
apart.
Because C6 is also hanging after FE4. Mm, after
Rook into
FE4,
c6,
what happens?
rook into c6, queen d7 is only move. Both these are attacked, and now bishop into b5. and
Hmm. So he
everything
plays
is
knight
falling.
e5.
Yeah, he defends this, but no, I think
But this
Magnus
is,
is totally taking this. He's really, really dominating. Now he's playing with full concentration, and
yeah, this is like Magnus versus Karyakin match. No, he just took a draw and the last game, and then he decided to play in the rapid tie breaks and won the match.
yeah, sometimes.
Or was it
Uh,
Caruana? Sorry, it was Caruana, I think. Against Caruana, he did that. In the 12th game, he just made a draw
yeah, 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 yeah.
and just decided to go into the tie breaks.
I think it's very interesting because when when something is certain, maybe you burn less of your anxious energy, yeah. Whereas when things are uncertain, you burn more of your anxious energy. So maybe Magnus likes that certainty. Maybe he cannot deal with that unknown thing. For I mean, not that he cannot, but he conserves energy better this way. And now it looks like White is totally taking this. White is totally dominating, totally in control. And I know that I'm using this word totally a bit
Five
excessively,
times.
but
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, what do you do as black? I mean, g5, queen c2, king on h7 is so lonely. None of his pieces are coming to his rescue. He is so lonely, lonelier than all of us in the pandemic.
There was a nice one. There was a nice one.
So rook g8, finally he has one friend, but it is too late. Queen e4 and probably game over. Yeah, queen e4. What queen e4 and there is no way, no queen e7 coming in. If you play queen e8, I have knight e6. It's game over.
yeah,
Wow, the things change so fast here, right? I still don't understand all this f5 idea. F6 was okay, but what about f5?
yeah, but okay, Ding will
He
strike back
opened
with
up
White.
his own king, right? By himself.
Exactly. He played f6 and then f5, doing all the work
Yeah.
himself, and now just too late to do any kind of damage control. Bishop d3. What a nice checkmate on the board now.
Yeah, like
And
cannot
Ding has resigned.
avoid that. Wow, Magnus
Wow.
chose really good strategy just to get into the blitz, and now he's showing his best. Nice.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Um, there's going to be a 5 minute break in between the tiebreaker. And Soumya, do you want to complete your story from yesterday during this break or after the final result?
We will see. We will see. Because some things it's better to keep them a mystery, as I have learned from my streaming gurus, Samay Raina and Vidit Gujarati.
Like what happened in Lonavala, yeah? I don't think a
What
lot of
happened
people.
in Lonavala stays in Lonavala.
I'm sorry, Katie. We are
Well,
using
what
Indian
story?
cultural.
She was.
Yesterday, I was sharing a story, and then we decided to not share it completely, just keep it a mystery.
Well, what was it about?
It was
It's
a
about
sad
Soumya's
story,
sad story. The
but I
saddest story in Soumya's life.
sad
Sad
story.
story.
Yes,
Oh,
but it was a funny story as well, actually. But just decided to keep it a mystery so that maybe someday we can share it. Maybe today, maybe someday. Who knows?
These days people put up all kinds of things on Twitter, like 1,000 RTs and I will lose 15 kilos, or 1,000 RTs and I'll do this. But in Soumya's case, that's not happening because she's not on Twitter. So you cannot even do 1,000 RTs to get the story. So you got to come up with something like 10,000 10,000 new subs, 50,000 subs.
50,000 subs. That's a good target, actually. Okay, on 50,000 subs, I will complete the
Story reveal.
story reveal.
Story climax reveal.
Oh, they're saying that girls are good at keeping the secrets. It depends whose secrets they are.
That's the thing.
If it's your secret, you're perfect to keep it. But if it's other secret, then you're good to gossip a lot. So, you know, it depends.
There is a lot of fighting going on my street right now amidst the dogs.
Territory fight, yeah?
We hear it.
Yeah, chat was like, who let the dogs out?
Katie, I used to live in Pune until last year, and then I moved to Bombay in December. And I used to really miss the dogs because there are a lot of dogs on my street in Pune. So I'm in Pune today, and that's why dogs are back, and it's very funny.
They are not your dogs?
No, they're the street dogs.
Ah, it's yeah. I thought it was your dog. Do you have a dog or?
No,
There are anyway many dogs there, right?
Yeah. There are too many. How about you?
Yeah.
Do you have a pet? Do you have a pet?
I have a dog. It's my brother's dog.
Oh, wow.
It's a German
Nice.
Shepherd. Yes, and it's a beautiful boy, 2 years old. But about street dogs, we also has our neighborhood dog in Tbilisi. White dog, it's so cute, small, with big belly, because everybody feeds him, and he's amazing. I really miss that dog. But my own dog, his name is Amsterdam. Amsterdam, yes.
Oh.
And yeah, he's my bestie. He's not asking me when I'm getting married, so.
Your own dog, as in Amsterdam, lives with your brother?
Well, my brother got it, but then and now my parents are taking care of us. So, like always happens.
Yeah, actually, it's true, no? Yeah. I know some other examples also.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's pray that Ding Legend wins this game. Otherwise, my story would be so.
Oh, it will be such meme material, no? But it's fine. All promotion is good promotion. Bishop
Yeah, it will be such meme material. Unlike AD, I want to be on the winning side even in memes.
But tell us, what is the difference from the classical setup of Catalan and with these A5 and A3 moves here?
Oh yeah, so usually after bishop d2, black goes bishop e7, and the idea to provoke this bishop b4, bishop d2, and then go bishop e7, as opposed to going bishop e7 directly, is that the white bishop on d2, it actually impedes white's development. So the bishop kind of looks odd here, and white usually ends up moving the bishop another time. The bishop on c1 is usually more appropriate for white. For example, in a lot of cases, the d4 pawn will be hanging. So black does this. And then after bishop d2, instead of bishop e7, they also found that a5 is a very, very interesting alternative. This was also played in this game between Vidit and Wojtaszek in the online Olympiad, but the live action is moving really fast. So I think we should really catch up with it. But as Katie pointed out, it's basically the same position, but with the additional moves a5 and a3. One of the big differences is the weakening of the b5 square. And for white, because he has committed a3, he cannot play knight a3 anymore, which is not a common square for the knight, but it is used in some of the variations. So you see now white gets control of the c file, and then after he goes knight c3, the next move, he also tries to fight for the control of b5. And when black plays b5 himself, white has this very, very slight edge, very slight pull based on the targets on the c file, c7 and c6. And the c6 square in particular, it's very important in Catalan. So because of these targets, white has this very, very minor pull. And usually these are very good positions to play for two results. Very slight, very pleasant push, very slightly pleasant positions, but it's very hard to lose with white because it's so solid. And either you create some pressure and black crumbles, or black manages to neutralize, exchange these two pawns, after which all the pawns on the same side, the position becomes too equal and it goes to a draw. This is how most of the games go.
This position also reminds me some kind of structure of Slav defense when we have changed variation CD.
Yeah. Like the Slav defense in terms of the pawn structure here, but in terms of the pawns on the queen side, I think it's quite different. It's not quite the same. And now with e3, he prepares to send reinforcements to the b5 point, whilst also strengthening the central places. But the drawback of this, the bishop on f4 can feel trapped after some knight h5. So I think Magnus would also not mind the position that he has got out of the opening. I think Black also has pretty decent activity and uh, will be. I think he is equalized completely. It's a pretty comfortable position actually. Meanwhile, disclaimer: I didn't recommend Bishop d2, but I recommend Knight d2 here. So only I'm only responsible till this point, and therefore I don't take the responsibility for the result of this game.
Very important disclaimer there. Queen d1, probably a forced move because black was threatening d4. So getting out of the pin there, and h4. I like how Ding is creating some chances. He could go knight e5 next move. He could also go bishop h3, knight h2, like completely change the direction of the game. There are some options. He could also bring his bishop to d3 and b1, and okay, black doesn't allow that. Black plays b4, so he's ready to exchange the light square bishops now on the next move.
Yes, he's ready to exchange the light square bishops on the next move. And
bishop a6 might be here a blunder, right? After b takes c, then b2 pawn is hanging, and there's a
nice
fork on a1 and c1.
It's actually very pretty, very pretty. And Ding, understandably, he does not allow it. He just goes knight a4, queen b7 on the board, and that doesn't seem to be a good and easy way to get the rook onto the c file. It looks grim for Ding Lijian. I think Magnus is a clear favorite to take the third place. No wonder, Ding didn't exactly follow my prescription. He deviated on the fifth move. So again, that explains everything. And again, I don't take responsibility of the result of this opening.
Yeah, even a move like rook c1 now after king into f1, rook c1 and rook c1 and a b4. Now the knight on a4 is attacked. It's not. He takes bishop into b4 because he didn't want to allow knight c5 maybe after the variation we saw. So bishop into b4, king g2, and now rook c1 and rook c8. He just wants to exchange. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, he just wants to exchange. And,
yeah, that makes sense. He wants to exchange all the pieces and make a draw. So maybe knight e4 now is possible.
Yeah, he can play knight e4 for sure, improving the position of the knight. And then maybe white will play queen c1, trying to take control of the c file. That's what he's trying to do with the rook c2. Again, these types of moves when the rooks are fighting for an open file, very small, subtle strategical moves, but it helps you get control. So when you're fighting for the open file and a rook is opposite, just move your rook up. Yes.
Sorry. Yes.
Just move your rook up and then reinforce it with another rook or a queen, and your opponent is usually forced to exchange, and that will give you the control of that file.
I was thinking if there is some very small spot for the video to have Soumya's face always on to see her impressions.
I know. I think from next time, whenever Soumya is commentating anywhere, we have to make a special provision.
Yes.
Soumya's camera always stays on. We can keep alternating. That's okay.
No, come on.
Again, she did it again.
You know what I was surprised with? Of course, moment has passed, but I thought after Queen C1, Black has this move like Rook C4. And after Rook C4, DC4, we are opening the Queen's diagonal and then we are threatening Knight D2 on the next. But he just took Rook C2, so moment passed.
Oh, I like this idea, 94, 92.
No, even before, like even after.
Like here also, right? I think this is exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah.
But that is Queen E2.
Queen C6.
Yeah, you do have Queen E2.
Queen C6?
But it's still a bind. Yeah, Queen C6. Queen C6. Are you biting your nails, Katie? Are you tense about the result of this game, or
what?
Am I just were you biting your nails?
What are you thinking about, Sri?
I mean, I was.
No, nobody saws it. You saw it, Soumya? No, our producer is muted, so Sri, don't risk that much. We might deny. You'll be bad looking guy. No, I never bite my nails. No. Just if you wonder, I never do that.
But are you feeling the tension of this game? Whether white will, are you feeling the excitement?
I like this pin in the previous line. Just I love the idea to give this pawn away from d5 square and open this diagonal for the queen. Yeah.
He plays bishop e6.
But that's not easy, no? It's not easy to achieve.
Yeah.
Bishop d6. So knight d3 in, bishop into f4. He's just exchanging all the pieces as much as possible. Bishop f4, ef4, and now knight d6. He'll bring the other knight to e4. White will definitely play knight a c5 here and, try to... Oh, white played knight e5. But already knight e4 is coming in, no?
Yeah, he wants to play queen c7, I guess, just to...
No, but you have to be careful, no? After queen e2, like if I play knight f e4, I'm not playing knight c4, knight f e4, so queen c7, the d6 knight protects the f7 pawn, and after queen e2, white is in trouble.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, like we can't find any way for white to make progress. Maybe just attack on the king side with g4 and g5 and just go wild, yeah? He goes h5. Goes h5. He's probably planning to play g4 and g5 at some point.
Yeah, I think he's just keeping the game going. He's just keeping some tension while he's playing fast. You see, Ding has a pretty big time advantage over Magnus at the moment. So he's just keeping the tension alive as much as he can. While I think he will try to do something when Magnus is severely low on time. Meanwhile, Magnus is attacking the d4 pawn, which is obvious. But there are also variations where he can take this. And white does not have a queen c8 check, and if white takes back, then knight d3 check is a fork, if you can visualize that.
Queen c7, so, can I play knight e3 now? Queen c7, he plays queen e2.
I think we're going to see a draw, yeah, because I don't really see a way for white to defend the f2 pawn.
Oh. Knight d4 is on the board, though. But yeah,
knight g4 is an option, but maybe now you risk losing, yeah.
Like, how do you lose after knight
e3? Mate, no, it's too much.
Knight g4, knight e3, knight into e3, queen f2.
No, sorry, but the thing is, can't you even just take this pawn because there is no threat from white, no?
Yeah, you can also take on g3 pawns.
And this knight on a4 is not really making any contributions, yeah. So
Draw seems okay then if there's no way for improvement for white, because this knight on a4, that's just out of the board. Oh, look at the bar. After knight g4, this bar dropped so much. Is this 93 check?
oh, he just takes the draw with knight into f2, but I think knight into d4 is just totally winning for black. The knight on a4, the knight on a4 is not really contributing anywhere towards the game.
How is it? Let's show the draw to the chat after knight f2, knight f2. We have knight e3 check, and after king h3, there is a check on f1 that helps white.
Yeah.
And after king h2, actually queen f2 is also possible, and you can even go, yeah, queen f2 is the best way, I guess. They made a draw.
Yeah, ultimately, white just makes this draw. Yeah, he repeats because his push is so bad on the king's side. He makes this repetition and it's a draw. And there is no way for black to stop this. So,
Do you think that there was some winning chance after knight g4, because the bar went so down for white after this move? Maybe something with checks.
it's not obvious for sure. It's not
Yeah.
obvious, but maybe we can check this.
How about knight e3? Knight takes
Yeah,
e3.
knight e3 was my first reaction, but
Queen.
knight takes e3, queen takes f2. Now you go king h3.
Yes, and yeah, hard to say here.
And yeah, white has this queen e8 and queen g6 in all the lines. So, what the blue arrows, but yeah, this is better. I cannot redraw arrows all the time because it just retracts it.
Oh, guys, I saw on the website engine, and actually there is a very nice move here that wins for black. You guys want to find it?
Here?
Yeah, I know you tried all the moves,
Yeah.
but the only move that you did not try, basically.
Knight
One
into
move.
d4 is not winning, is it?
Knight
No.
d6 maybe. Three, just
Because
knight-
white always has this draw with queen e8 and
Oh
queen.
yeah, it simply has this draw. True.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is to
Knight
put
is
first in the-
d6 stops these checks.
Exactly, very nice idea, but knight f6 is even more effective because it stops the check and
okay.
Ah.
But how? I mean, if I take knight into f6,
and now knight e3 check and it's checkmate actually.
Oh,
this is
that's
Because-
brilliant.
hard to see. That's
Very-
hard to see.
Because after king h3 we have queen f1 check, and
Do you guys think that they are watching now this variation, or they are just frozen on the cameras?
No, I think they're just stunned. They're stunned.
Because
that,
Magnus has a face like he's also checking this line.
yeah, and Ding is also like in awe of this.
But this is,
so king
Live
h4
camera?
king h1, very nice checkmate.
yeah, beautiful.
It's amazing. The first thing Ding and Magnus do after finishing their game is to watch our broadcast. I wouldn't have expected it, but now we know that it's true.
Proved.
Meanwhile, guys, there we have Magnus Carlsen, the third place winner of the Gold Money Asian Rapid, which is part of the Meltwater Champion Chess Tour, and he wins a prize money of 8,500. Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, and the runner-up is Vladislav Artemiev. He's a 2019 European champion, and there we have Levon Aronian, the winner of the tournament. What an amazing tournament this has been. What an interesting tournament. Starting with 4 Indian players for the first time ever in any of the Meltwater Champion Chess Tour tournaments, and a lot of it has been thanks to you guys. So a big thank you to all you guys for all the amazing support and enthusiasm that you have shown to us, and staying through with us, and look forward to a lot more of it. Once again, the best thing you can do do subscribe to the Chess 24 India channel if you still haven't, and that will make its contribution towards giving opportunities to Indian chess players, Indian chess, and Indian youngsters. We have had quite a few events from the Chess 24 India already this year, starting with the Vidit Chess Tour, the Indian qualifiers, and a lot more of it in the pipeline as well. So thank you all of you, and yeah, again, do like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't.
Also, what a pleasure to have two amazing people join us in the commentary box this event. One was, of course, Vidit Gujarati, who took time out every day after his tournament got over and joined us with his insights and sense of humor and a lot of roasting. And of course, we have Katie here, who was here almost for all the days. It was so great to have you, Katie. So great to hear your insights and listen to your comments.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the work that you are doing for chess, and you are keeping going and in a really, really nice way. And thank you so much for being extremely nice for me. Yeah, I hope we're gonna do a lot of cool things together, and we'll be involved in many chess projects. And also a big thanks to the chat, who is very supportive. And also at the moments when we're getting tired, they are pushing us and boosting our energy a little.
Yes, I think it's the one chat that does not ask you when you're going to get married, but rather gives you ideas on how to reply to that. That shows you how amazing this chat is.
True. We have a team here. Yes, and thank you so much for giving me a chance to be here and spending these days with chess, with a lot of chess. And it was truly the pleasure to be here with two of you, and also with it is very nice guy and big troll.
Yes, he's very nice to others and a big bully to me. But on a serious note, a big thanks to Vidit. Also for the Vidit Chess Tour, which I keep mentioning, and joining us in the chat, despite playing the tournament, having such a busy schedule. So thank you so much, Vidit. And thank you so much to Soumya and Kitty as well. Soumya, who is my favorite co-host in Chess 24 India. I don't have to repeat it. And
no
Kitty,
questions
it's always
why.
a pleasure.
No questions why.
It's
all crystal clear.
I think there is also one more +1 for me after I have mentioned that marriage is overrated, like taking some pressure off you guys. I think I received a huge +1 there as a co-host.
Yeah, I think Sri really likes your sharp vision in the tense.
I mean, no, it's mainly that I had such a terrible co-host to begin with that any person would have
now
been the
you're
best.
naming it. You could have just said yes. So thank you, chat, also for hanging with us, and people who want me to complete my story, subscribe to my channel and take it to 50K. Then you will get the whole story, maybe.
I really want to hear that. So I'll go now and subscribe your channel. I really want to hear the story.
I'm doing it with 4 accounts of mine. I've done it with 1 account, but...
Oh my God. So fun, lots of fun doing this, guys. Thank you so much, Chad. Thank you, Shri, Katie. Thank you to the Chess 24 India team who work behind the scenes as well, our producer and everyone involved with the streams. Bye-bye. Have a nice evening. Have a nice Sunday.
Bye.